Hi, everyone, and welcome to Book Club with Bay. I am Bay, and this is Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hi, Bay.
And this is other Bay. Say hi.
Hello.
And say hi, Noah.
Hi.
Since you waved. So today we're going to talk about the Vampire Diaries, The Return, Nightfall. Such a fucking long time.
The longest fucking
First
title.
Well,
criticism.
okay, the
Title too
series-
long.
Yeah, the series is The Vampire Diaries, The Return.
Nightfall.
But this is
And then
also
the book is
a
Nightfall.
series of yeah.
Yeah, it's a series within a series, and then Nightfall.
Yep.
Glad we got that.
Yeah, at
Worked
least
out.
at least you know when other series often, like other authors often when they do like sequel series, etc., like they give them a new name, even if it is the same protagonist. So it's not like, The Vampire Diaries, The Return series. Insert book title.
Yeah.
I would have just called this The Return, like
Or
the
just
Return
continue.
series, or just make a book 5 of the original series. I don't know.
Well,
But,
wasn't this one published like almost 20 years after the OG?
I think it was about 10 years later. And
it's like
in the
10
book,
times as long.
the book also okay.
Also.
So
it's literally
first book,
6 times longer.
yeah, the book, like the first series is set in 91, 92. And it says so. But this one, it occurred to me, but like Bonnie starts Googling shit on her phone. And I'm like, you don't even have a cell phone, let alone one that can Google. But then there's a mention of the turn of the century.
This is House of Night syndrome.
And no, not the last turn of the century, the previous one in 1901. And I'm like, okay, so no, in book time we're in the 2000s. So,
But
yeah, in the span
1
of
week
a week
after Elena
in
comes back.
Yeah, so in the span of a week, we've jumped forward 10 years minimum.
Cool.
House of Night, everybody. Welcome.
Yeah.
House of Night. Oh yeah, we're going to
talk
call
about
that House of Night syndrome when
Yeah.
books can't. So
I
books can't figure
will
out their
say
own fucking timelines.
this is a bit more forgivable in the sense of at least the book was published like 10 years or 15 years later, whatever, and they're just keeping it current. But also it's also
continuity errors.
Yeah, also
because
that's a big thing. Well, because here's the thing,
the cell phone thing wasn't integral to the plot.
Well, but the thing is, like, not having cell phones is actually kind of an interesting thing now that we're to a point where everybody has a cell phone. Like,
Exactly.
that's the thing. That's why, like, this is why
writing books in olden times.
This is why I'm not against like dating your books and including like technology as a thing, because when you're reading it like 20 years from now, it's actually interesting because it's like
to see how people.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. It's actually interesting to read it like that because you're like, oh right, you couldn't just like connect your phone to a car. That's interesting. Because it makes it feel more colorful, like the setting.
Yeah, well, there was also no reason to age this book, like to bring this book forward.
No,
because for the entire, like the majority of the book, it was we need to call blah. Okay, I'll try his number. No answer. Or I don't have any signal. There was literally like the cell phones were not at all even a useful plot point at all, except to say there's no other option because our cell phones are unavailable. Like there was literally 0 point to them. The only time that they played a role was when Bonnie Googled Salem witches. And nothing came from that either. It was just so, like, we would get an idea that Salem witches had something to do with this. That's it.
So, before we go any further...
Yes, ratings.
Let's do ratings. So, food rating, first of all. I'm going to put this as... You're in a drive-thru for 45 minutes.
Okay.
And shenanigans are just happening in the parking lot. And you don't understand why. And it's taking forever. And you're just so confused. You get the food and it's terrible. So you wind up going to a really fast drive-thru. And the food is also terrible from there. And so you just go home and you're sad.
So the McDonald's in my undergrad town.
Yes.
is what you're describing.
Yeah. Yeah, so you spent like way
McDonald's
too long.
at 2 a.m. in my undergrad
Yeah,
time.
you spent way too long trying to get food and it didn't go well. It's like that. And you saw some interesting things along the way that confused you.
That came out of left field. That
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
how high is everyone?
And
right
did
now?
that come from a real recent experience? Yes, but I feel like it works here.
Okay.
It does work.
That my food rating is, Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
Like Gordon Ramsay show? Yes. Like there's this one restaurant, right, where someone tries to sexy up a salad by like putting it in a funnel and then tipping it upside down, like trying to make it all sexy. Like he was doing all weird shit with
a
his food.
triangle?
Mm.
Or like
he just tried to make the food sexy by like putting food in funnels and shit like that and using that. And it just, you understand what they're trying, but it just makes you feel really uncomfortable to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then the food's also mediocre on top of that.
Okay.
That's because, like, I will say, like, the beginning of this book, before like shit went really fucking weird, the main plot, not like the Elena plot at the beginning, but the main antagonist plot, I was somewhat semi-intrigued. I was interested, and then it went fucking weird, and that's when my salad comes out in a funnel.
All right, so
that's where I'm at.
I don't think the council, do we stand?
No.
Okay. Addie wanted to DNF, so obviously we don't stand.
I wanted to DNF as
well. But I was severely overwhelmed.
DNF means do not finish.
Yes. Yeah.
Not, like, were you like hearing do not fuck?
Do not do fuck.
Well, also, do not do fuck. That's another one.
And then underwhelmed, whelmed, or overwhelmed.
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 I was overwhelmed.
I was whelmed until the Fang scene that I texted you guys about. I was whelmed until then, and then from that point on, I was just overwhelmed. Because it just got weirder.
Yeah, this book goes like, it kind of goes like the rest, like the previous books in this, where you're like very underwhelmed and you're like, fucking, I'm gonna shoot myself out of boredom, and then you're like, But
this was worse.
But it was worse, and then you're like,
the moment happened much earlier, and then it just didn't at all calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
It never stopped being wild.
Yeah, it never stopped being wild, but then like also the problem with it being that wild is that, so this book is 150,000 words long, which
600
is about,
pages compared to the 100-page ones of the first series.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm going to put it this way. It's I'm going to say it should have been 70-ish thousand words, and it's like
half as long.
This kind of book, it should have been about half as long as it was.
It should have just stayed the same length as the first, like the OGs.
Yeah, the OG books were all 16
They
chapters
were good
long.
lengths.
Yeah, they were all just 16 chapters. This was like 30-something chapters.
And
and the chapters were longer.
This book went in circles.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think we could have, you know what would have made me at least be content with the book, whelmed with it. Or potentially breaching overwhelmed, but in a good way, is if we kept a lot of the same stuff in it, but we removed all of the weird sexual stuff. Because I was intrigued by, like, the bad guy, like the antagonist shit in this book, until the sex shit started happening.
Until everyone
especially when
wanted to fuck everyone.
And then especially when it got to the incestuous sex shit. And the borderline okay. What's the opposite of a pedophile? Like someone real, like a pubescent person trying to fuck, like
I don't know
that until we got to that. Like
that should be a term. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there is a term.
A reverse pedophilic incestuous shit.
All right,
and
Maggie.
And then
we're only 9 minutes in. You have your mission.
Yeah, Maggie,
find what that term is.
And then the attempting to make a forced sex tape, and it was just
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand the point.
I went through on the Goodreads and read the top reviews for this after finishing, and I was like, they're all like, "What the fuck happened?"
Okay, good. I was like, are people what the
so,
fucking this?
all the top reviews are like 1 star, saying like, "What the
What
fuck
happened?
What
Okay,
is
all right.
LJ on drugs?"
Hold on, let me look
Like
at
that
them.
was like the top reviews.
We're
Yeah,
Is
gonna
I
go
mean,
LJ
look.
on drugs?
We're gonna take
I
a
mean,
look at them.
I could have been like at least mildly stan, even with the Fang scene, if the rest of the sexual stuff was cut out. This Fang scene really was weird though. Oh, this book was a wild ride.
I want the return. Where is it? Here we go. You know, this book is not very well.
Yeah, it's 2 star, 1 star, 1 star. Then there's a 4 star. Then there's a 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 4 stars, 4 stars. Very mixed.
Oof, that's not good.
It's also like recommended for my enemies. DNF. Recommends for all LJ Smith fans who enjoy being frustrated and confused.
Well, another thing that was weird.
Recommends for my worst enemy.
I'll say something that was interesting about this book is that I understand now where we get the cure plot that plagues
Yes.
the TV show.
Yes. Yes.
And for that, I don't know what's worse than don't stand this book, but I have that feeling for this.
Loathe is the word.
But I
you're looking for.
loathe this book for introducing not the cure, but the idea that vampires can unvampy themselves.
Mm.
The only place that should exist is in The Sims, when you marry a vampire and you're like, I don't want to have vampire children because I don't want to play them in my next generation. That's it.
Fair.
That's the only time.
Yeah, I mean, just on a separate, like, related to that, like, I think that, yeah, this is where the show got at least the idea of having a cure from. I'm just so grateful that the show looked at the rest of this book and went,
Nope.
Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah, the
not
rest of
and
this
say
book
we
is
did
thrown
it.
out, but the cure part.
Yeah, that said though as well, because I can't remember was that actually mentioned in the actual letter that Stefan wrote, or was that just only mentioned in Damon's letter? Because that could still just be a, hey, look, there's a thing that I'm off to go do, and then it's not actually real.
I don't know.
No, I think
remember.
that actually no, that was only ever mentioned in Stefan's letter, because that's right. In Damon's letter, Stefan didn't tell. Oh well, Stefan didn't tell Elena anything about where he was going, so that was in Stefan's letter.
Okay.
Never mind. Yeah, then it's real, or potentially real, which is fun, I guess.
So, are there any characters we need to go over?
No.
I wouldn't say so.
Oh, just Mrs. Flowers, who owns the boarding house that Stefan's been living at. She's actually a character.
Yeah, we
in
haven't
this book.
really
yeah.
mentioned her because she hasn't been relevant.
Yeah, but she's
we've always got at least a bit of an impression that there's something sus with her, like something's
I know.
up with Mrs. Flowers.
Yeah, I figured she was part of this whole thing.
Yeah. So we find out what her involvement is in this book.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, there's not really any.
Other than like the villain,
Which I can't even really describe.
No, there's no way.
What is it? What is it? It's a fox bug?
I'm pretty sure it's a
It's the fox part related to the bugs. Like, that's one thing I'm still not clear on after listening to it. I'm like,
I think
they
in one of the
aligned with the bugs, or they
Goodreads review,
the bugs.
it said that like this is like an old, I don't remember what country in Asia, but it's an old Asian legend.
It makes sense because a lot of when they were referring to each other was still somewhat Asian-y.
Yeah, let me
Like
see
the
if I can find
terms.
what review it was.
I will say though, I did like what's his face, the guy who had the like girlfriend who pierced herself all over and shit. How like his nickname for her was Izzy Chan or whatever. I'm like, that's actually something that would be her nickname.
Yeah.
I'm like, because it, and then I also did appreciate that they were just like Bonnie was like, but why? Chan's not a that whatever nationality she is. It's not a that one. It's a that one. And Meredith's like, it's a term of affection, you weirdo. But no, I liked that was in there. But other than that,
Yeah.
there was a lot of weird about this book, and Stefan and Elena's relationship at the beginning of this book is like creepy.
Father-daughter? Mayhap.
But also he's just like, I feel so bad like taking advantage of her because she's a fucking child, she's like a toddler. However,
But
I'll still
also,
make
how
out with
did
her and drink her
like
blood.
when we dove into that? Like you dive into the book and then it's like this is what's happening, and I was just like, what?
Yeah, well, I don't think that this was meant to be like continued. So she didn't think about that, but then she's like, well, I need a thing, so let's make Elena an angel, and
Fuck it.
we'll
Give her
so
really
now we
weird wing powers.
so now we need to do a trigger thing where she makes out with people as soon as she meets them, and make her an infant. Like, let's do that. And the explanation for how she got from functioning when she came back to an infant was she was fine until she fell asleep, and then she woke up and she was an infant, and I don't know how it happened. It just did.
It was the weirdest
that's where
shit.
we're at.
Yeah, because we open the book and she's an infant, and you're like,
why? She looks the same. She's mentally an infant. Like,
am I allowed to say that's problematic?
Yes.
Yeah, no, Stefan's not making out with 2-year-old Elena. Just mentally 2-year-old Elena. Physically, still 17. It's fine. Except it's not.
All right.
So like, that's plot? A crime.
Plot?
Yeah, the plot. Let's plot.
At least there's a plot.
There. You know what?
There's a plot.
There is a plot.
More than just Stefan won't talk to me, but I want his dick.
You know what? Stefan and Elena actually interact this book.
I know. Partly because she's an infant.
Yeah, but... I mean, like all she had to do was mentally regress 15 years, but like they're talking now, so it's fine.
Yay. I don't.
Dear diary, Stefan finally talks to me. Yay.
Except I can't write because I'm an infant.
Yeah, except I can't write or speak or know words. Like Stefan's having to teach her like new words for shit, and they communicate via mind link at the beginning of this book, and she just sends him pretty pictures, and he's like, "Yeah, that's a tree. Can you say tree?" And then she mentally goes, "Tree," and he's like, "Good job. Let's make out now."
Literally,
that's their relationship.
Disgusting.
And then he's like, "You got to get out of your nightgown," and she's like, "But I don't have a day gown." So she puts his shirt on and starts calling it a day gown, and it's just really.
I don't like this book.
No, it's weird.
Well, because the thing is as well, right? Like I have 2 kids. That's not a secret. But I feel like they're meant to be like, they're saying like, she's uncorrupted. She's innocent as a child, all this stuff. She's childlike. She's learning things like a child. No, never. Like, it's someone who has never actually like seen how children process things firsthand would write how a child would learn.
Yeah, like
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot because then she also communicates to him by like tapping her chin, and that means bite me or something.
When I read tap tap tap, that's when I almost DNF'd. And that was like the preface.
Yeah, we can't.
Tap, tap.
No.
Tap, 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 tap. Jude.
Like, okay, Strange Angels and fucking whatever that other
Can I
series was.
Is that bothering you?
Can you
It
Folk of
bothered
the
us
air.
too.
Or something.
Yeah, Folk of the Air. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
No. Writing advice from book club with Bae, through no fault of your own future authors, tap 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 has been ruined for eternity, so do not include it in your book.
Here's my thing about stuff like that. It could be written better. Just like any kind of thing like that could be written better.
If I need to have a tap 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 in my book, I'm gonna write tap tap tippity tap.
Or you could just write, or you could just write,
There's a
there
tap
was
at the door.
tapping.
Yeah. There's sometimes where, like, literally writing
For
tap,
dramatic
tap,
effect.
tap works
get
better.
it.
Like, if someone's, like, waking up and they're half asleep and it's just, like, tap, 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 go away, mom, tap, tap,
But not
tap.
more
That's
than
not
once.
my mom,
But
Like,
not more than
but
once.
not 50 times in one scene and then 50 times in every book. Like, it ruins it. And also, again, I think we've said this before, but if you're going to have someone write someone's name over and over and over and over again, just get the narrator to say, like, to explain it, not to...
Yeah, not actually sound like she's engaging in sexual intercourse, saying a name over and over again.
Yeah,
Because
because that was,
because in the
fucking
book it
awkward.
wasn't written like it was an illustration. It wasn't actually written in the text of the book. It was an illustration in the book.
Actually, I'm
still irritated.
curious. I'm curious though, right? Because I still haven't seen that. Like what it actually looks like.
Do you
Does
want
it
to do a
actually
quick
get
aside?
Yes, because I'm
me
curious to
find
see
it.
if how like it sounds like like it gets more aggressive and faster and faster and
Wait.
faster, and then it
What's
just kind of sounds like an orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if it's written like that.
I just typed in Jude twice. No results in text. Oh God, what chapter was that?
Paper book, because it was in a book.
Hang on, I might still have it in my notes.
It was at the end of a chapter.
Yeah, I know it's at the end of a chapter. Oh, that'll be easier, actually. I can just go to the end of every chapter and then swipe left. Nope. 7. Nope. 8. Nope.
Sorry, but
Keep talking, guys. I'll be here for a while.
Yeah, I just want to see what the Jude actually looks like.
It's
I
been a
can't
long
remember
time,
if we
but
saw
here we
it.
go.
Bae, can you check side chat real quick?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Quick aside.
I don't know.
Keep talking while I do some
Sorry.
investigative research. Here, I'll mute myself because I'll be typing first.
Okay. Where were we?
I can't even remember. Oh, we're just describing
The
how
very
Elaine
beginning.
is an infant. Yeah, Elaine is an infant, and so Stefan's teaching her how to, function while, again, intermittently making out with her and drinking her blood, which kind of is a weird...
Yeah, so look, even
and he
here's the
feels
thing.
bad. He doesn't want to do it. He tries to stop himself.
You know what?
But she
I don't
begs
care
him.
that he feels bad.
She begs him though.
If I don't give a fuck. If somebody has the mental capacity of an infant and you still make out with them, you're a bad person.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when, like, with how quickly she's progressing, etc., you think that she'll be back to normal in, say, 4 days. He can wait 4 more days to make out with her. It's fine. It's fine. You can go a fortnight without, drinking your girlfriend's blood.
Ha! I found it.
You found it?
Yep. Okay, application window. Share. There you go, guys.
Oh, that's not what I thought you found.
Oh no. I'll check.
Okay.
So there's the beginning of it.
Oh no. Okay.
And then it turns into that.
I would see that's just lazy.
Like it's an
That's just-
illustration. Because it starts out, Judah reads each hateful rendering of my name like a punch to the gut. Like
I know,
that's
but the
all
way-
the narrator had to say.
Yeah, but like that, like it feels like though, because the way it's described and everything, like it just gets more and more like you can tell with the ink blotting what it's supposed to be. He's getting more and more angry each time he writes a name and stuff like that. I thought it was actually going to be, it starts off like, nice, neat writing, and then it just gets, sloppier and bigger and.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to look like. Like, had I done the
know.
inside of this, that's not what I would have done.
That's what I was just thinking.
You would have handwritten Jude 300 times and let your own frustration sink onto the paper and then scanned it.
And then inserted it into the book, yeah.
Yeah, there was a much cooler way to do this, and they didn't do that. And this is something I don't understand, is like when big publishing houses produce shitty shit.
And this is what the chapter headers look like. They change like every book, but
I like that.
Yeah, it's
I
really
do too.
cute.
It just also looks a bit like a children's book, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like an Enid Blyton book.
Back to my other mission.
Yes, your other mission. Does anything besides, Elena's a fucking infant, does anything else happen at the beginning with those two?
No.
No. So then we cut to
Elena's just kind of an infant for a while.
Yep. And then we cut to Damon, who's watching Caroline.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sleep.
When I first heard about how Jacob and Prince themselves did Twilight.
What was that?
He said, I don't know what you're talking about, but it reminded me of when Jacob imprints on Bella's baby in Twilight.
And that just reminded me of the thing that I sent you. About their first date. I honestly though, since I've seen like that tweet about like what their first date would be like,
Yeah,
that's all I picture now. Like, that's creepy. But anyway, yeah,
I guess because of like the way that they, just like to Twilight real quick, the way that it's written in text makes it not weird.
Or as weird.
Yeah,
well, also one of the things that frustrated me with this, like Breaking Dawn Part 2, it broke literally all of the vision rules established, not only in the books, but in the previous movies.
Yeah.
Like the reason why the whole Volturi issue happened in book 2 and movie 2 was because Alice can't have visions that involve werewolves.
Yeah.
All the stress and drama in Breaking Dawn Part 1 is because Alan can't have visions that involve Renesmee.
Yeah.
And then the end fight scene shit, and then how it ends where like Alice is having a vision of like Jacob and Renesmee making out and shit as adults.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't have happened. None of it's possible. The movies for the most part kind of fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of whether they fucked up is, casting Kristen Stewart as Bella.
Bruh.
They could have gotten a mannequin and gotten better acting out of it.
I mean, what's funny is that like if you actually watch the movies, there are some like funny lines in there, but the way that she reads them, it like you're like, oh, that could have gotten a chuckle, but it didn't. Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
To what we're talking about. So, fucking
So Damon is watching Caroline sleep, and he's like, it's about that time, and we're like, why the fuck is Damon watching Caroline sleep at 4:47 in the morning?
And this
or
is clearly
whatever
where
time it is.
the Damon Caroline thing comes from.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
So
Yeah. And oh fuck. Yeah, so then he says, he noticed that something sus has been happening. And he's like trying to work out what the fuck is the sus thing is. And I don't know how he discovered it. I guess he was just watching it the first night she came back. Just to make sure she was fine, and then noticed sus shit happening. Because again, it's only been a week since the end of the last book, plus a decade apparently, but it's been a week.
It's fine.
And this has been happening for a bit, like more or less since Caroline got rescued from Klaus and Tyler. So she wakes up and she starts she sits at the mirror and starts flirting with herself in the mirror, and he's like, yeah, this is weird, but then he realizes that the mirror, Caroline's mouth is not moving at the same time as Caroline's mouth, and so he's able to work out what the conversation is, and yeah, it's a thing. And Caroline's like, I'm so sick of hearing about Stefan and Elena, rah rah rah. And then Damon goes in and he's like, hey, what the fuck's going on or something. Like he goes in and talks to her, hey.
Well, he feels the thing in his neck.
Oh yeah,
too.
that's right. He feels what feels like a.
He's like, oh, a mosquito bit me. What the fuck? That's weird. I'm a vampire.
Yeah. And then he feels a raised bump, and then he starts to get weird, and then he's like, I'm hungry. So then he goes to do a hungry. And then he's still hungry, so then he goes to do a more hungry, and he just keeps doing hungry stuff until he meets a chick, and he's like, yeah, no, I'll take you home. And so then he takes her home. And he gets new sunglasses and a video camera. I think that's it on the Damon front for now.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
They're working out some technical behind the scenes shit
Yeah,
now.
we are.
I'm just like, I have no part in this bit, because what am I going to do?
Is it immediately next when he's like, I'm going to start biting women for funsies? Hashtag fun. That was
he was like, he was hungry, so he went and did a hungry, and then he just kept on doing a hungry until he wasn't hungry anymore, but he was still kind of hungry.
Then he beats up Stefan.
Oh yeah, then he beats up Stefan. And Stefan's like, because that's right, because he's like, I must go and have Elena. So then he goes to have Elena, and Stefan's like, no, you cannot have an Elena. She's my Elena. And he's like, but that's rude. And he's like, but please. And he's like, but no. And then they have a bit of a scuffle, and he beats up Stefan. And then he's like, I'll be back.
Sure. Thank you.
And then we're back to Elena and Stefan. And Stefan's like, you're having visitors today. And Elena's like,
yes.
Yay, I've never had a visitor before. What's a visitor?
Oh my God.
And he's like, you're fucking friends, you dumb whore.
No, that's everyone else later in the book calling it that. It's fine. And then he's on the phone to Bonnie and Matt and Meredith and Caroline, and he's like, just a reminder, she's fucking weird, hey. And they're like, okay, can we talk to her? And he's like, no, she's fucking weird, so you better just come and see her. He's like, but you can't tell anyone. And they're like, it's okay, we won't. He's like, no, you can't see her until you make a pact that you won't tell anyone. And they're like, well, we could just tell everyone now. We know she's alive. It's not like it's a big secret. I mean, I know it's a big secret to everyone else, but like, it'd be like, the dramatics of this scene would be different if he was like, hey, I have something to show you guys. but yeah, I can't show you until you promise to never ever tell anyone. But they already know that she's alive, and have
Yeah,
known
because
for a week.
they were there.
Yes, and they interacted with her. So like
She also saved all their lives with her magic angel powers, apparently.
yes. So
It's fine.
But so then they're like, okay, fine, let's do a thing. So Meredith is like, we will write a contract. I shall never tell anyone about Stefan and Elena unless I get permission from Stefan and Elena directly in perpetuity, etc., lest the others make my life a living hell. And then they sign their names and then dot it with blood, and then Crow Damon flies down and does a bloody blood on the paper.
I'm glad we're back to blood oaths.
I know,
we really
right?
came full circle.
Yeah.
It really did.
What's life without a good blood oath now and then?
Right. I mean, honestly, who doesn't need a good blood oath every once in a while?
Yeah. So now they go to Stefan and Elena because they're at the boarding house, and they go in, and Elena just walks up to Caroline and pashes her. And Caroline freaks the fuck out and starts screaming about how Elena's perverted, etc., And everyone's like, why are you being so mean to Elena? And Stefan's like, it's just how she gets to know you. It's not sexual. And Caroline goes and rinses her mouth out in the bathroom. The others make fun of her. Caroline gets upset and starts screaming about how Elena's a whore. And then Elena starts making out with Meredith. And then Caroline starts screeching about that.
Yes.
And then she starts making out
Have
with
we
Bonnie.
Have we mentioned how Elena's floating?
Oh yeah,
no.
that's right.
Oh yeah, they're like, why is she floating? And Stefan's like, she does that sometimes. It's fine.
She just does this now. I don't know. She's a baby that floats in a 17-year-old's body.
He's just like, what do you guys not float? And weirdos.
And also, Elena, while Caroline's hurling abuse at Elena, Elena's just looking at her like, let me, she's looking at her with an expression that says, let me fix you. And Caroline's like, ah! And then she yeets. And then Elena makes out with a couple other people, and she has to kiss everyone.
Make out with
Meredith, Bonnie, and then Matt, and Caroline's fucking furious.
And Caroline's like, Stefan, you just like watching the girls kiss.
But I don't understand the introduction of this game mechanic.
Well, and also it's like Meredith's just like, she's just acting like a prairie dog. Like, where the fuck does that come from?
I don't know.
Do angels act like prairie dogs?
And then Stefan's like, I'm sorry, I forgot to warn you. She's never met anyone besides me before.
And they're like, bitch, what? They're very confused by that shit.
Yeah. It didn't occur to me that she'd kiss all of you as well, or I would have warned you. But yeah, she kisses people to meet them now and know their souls. And now she'll always know you inside and out, wherever you are. Which is like, that's
fucking creepy.
Yep, that's creepy. But this is where we're at right now. It's not fine. But
I would just
fine.
like to state for the record, TJ does not like angels in this universe.
No.
I think if just unconsensually kissing people upon meeting them, sticking your tongue down people's throat to know their souls upon meeting them, that's a bit much.
If that's what angels are like, I don't want to go to heaven.
Yeah. And Stefan's like, it's not a sexual thing, I promise. And it's like, but she didn't even brush her teeth this morning. Like, Stefan, you forgot to brush Elena's teeth, okay? And it's a bit gross, okay? Her breath's really rank right now, and I feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Elena's too much of an invalid to brush her own freaking teeth. Okay, this is my headcanon. It's not actually what's in the book. It's fine.
Mhm.
Although I think it would have been amusing if Caroline did screech about that too.
I feel like Caroline would. I feel like she would.
And then they're just like, oh
Let's
god,
see.
Caroline's such a bitch. And then Caroline's like, excuse you.
Mhm.
And they're like, we thought you left. And she's like, I left my purse here and I hear what you really think about me. Meredith's like, no, you heard people venting about someone who was being abusive. Okay, it's fine. We still like you, but you're being a bitch. And then Caroline lizard scuttles towards them.
It starts to use black magic, right?
Yeah, like
evil magic.
it's so weird. Like
Caroline
The-
becomes a lizard this book.
here's the
It's
thing.
what happens.
Before I go change my batteries, here's the thing. There's adding a bunch of new shit in a book, which can be really fun and really cool. Totally can. And then there's adding a bunch of weird shit like lizard scuttling and tongue down throating mandatory and children braining and box insects.
The entire angel thing.
and
Just the entire
no fox
You know
insect.
what?
And then also incest and
Reverse pedophilic incest as
reverse
well.
pedophilic incest. And it's
What's reverse pedophilic?
where like the kid is trying to fuck the
Reverse
dad.
meaning that age. Not
How
like
old-
actually. I guess
11.
actually.
11.
She's 11.
I'm bothered too. There's adding stuff to your world, and a lot of it at a time, which can be really fun and really interesting. And then there's adding a lot of stuff to your world like that I don't like.
I will say I was
Don't shush me.
at this point I'm still intrigued by the Caroline mystery. Like I'm like, yeah, she's lizard scuttling, but why? Tell me why. I'm interested. You know.
And like, is she gonna become a vampire? I guess it's a little late.
She could.
She can still do it.
Is it too late for anything at this point?
No, okay, you're right.
Okay, because also I have a spoiler that I'm not going to spoil, but I know it. But
Spoil
no,
it.
Do it. We don't care.
All I'm
Spoil
going to
it.
say is that I know for a fact that death means shit in this series, beyond Elena.
True. I saw that. I first saw that.
Because there is a death. That
It's like the
happens
show.
in this, yeah,
Death means nothing in the show.
Except if you're Aunt Jenna and Lexi.
Yes. Because
rip.
there is a death that happens at like the climax of this sub-series that I'm 99.9% confident won't stick. I'm not 100% because I haven't looked beyond that, but I'm 99.999% confident that the death won't stick.
But the more we read of this series, the more I'm interested to see what a not LJ author did.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Agreed.
You okay?
Well, this series, like we've got 2 more books
Is the
written
last.
by actual LJ, and then
And I'm just like, I know we said we wouldn't, but I think we might want to reevaluate that.
yeah, we'll have to physically read one of I think it's the Hunters series. We'll have to physically read
Because
that.
I'm just interested to see what somebody else did.
Yeah,
and
we
like-
won't go into the Stefan Diaries.
No,
and stuff
because
at
who
this point,
cares?
Because that's also those are based on the show, not
Yeah.
like their show canon, not book canon. So it's a bit like it's kind of like its own separate thing.
Yeah.
But oh, okay. Like we haven't even so Caroline's we've obviously given a lot of teasers about where it gets fucking weird, like with reverse pedophilic attempted incest. But I think we should clarify. It's attempted, okay? Daddy said no.
Well, we do read Twitch chat, by the way.
I'm not at the moment because I don't have it open because I'm on my iPad.
I do have it open. Addie and I have it open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you two can be the responsible ones.
We'll be responsible. Sometimes we do get a little fired up about not liking incest, and we forget to respond, so we're sorry. But we are reading.
Yes.
I'm just looking at the list of these books. That's what I'm doing right now, and I'm just looking at them and unhappy. That's how I feel.
I don't think we would have to do them like immediate. I think we have to take a break and do something else.
I feel
Yeah, I
like
think we
if the
should.
rest of this series is like this one, I think we're gonna need a break
Yeah,
again. Because it's a bit much.
yeah.
Oh no,
sure.
so this one came out in 2009.
Oh wow.
2009.
So it was
Okay.
almost
So, like,
20 years.
So that would have been right when the
it's
show came out.
It's probably might be why she did it.
I think that's why the publishers made her do it.
Because yeah, the first episode aired September 10th, 2009.
Because it's clear that as much as the first three suck, it's clear that they have a cohesive. Are you okay?
Sorry, I'm just excited that the ice skating rink is reopened, so daughter will be able to start her skating lessons
Yay.
up again soon. Because skate school's
Yay.
still not running, but it will be running again soon.
Um,
She's missed ice skating. I'm done.
but it's clear that the first three books had a cohesive arc.
You can't say
I'm
that with a
sorry.
straight
It's
face.
hard to say that they had a cohesive arc, but like they kind of did.
there
They
was
did their
like
best.
there wasn't
Yeah, it
much
was-
of a plot, but the
It
plot
was
was
boy
all
meets
linked. It was
girl,
related.
boy turns girl into vampire,
Girl
No.
dies.
girl
No.
comes back.
No,
Boy
she
meets
didn't come
girl.
back.
Boy
Did she?
meets girl.
Okay, yeah, she
Boy's brother turns girl, well, feeds girl blood.
It's
Boy's
just
ex-girlfriend kills girl, and she becomes vampire.
did.
And
Yeah,
that
okay,
is
but
literally
you
the
know-
plot. That's the plot of the first two books.
So this is so somebody said, what the fuck is this? We are talking about, this is book club. We are talking about the Vampire Diaries, but we're talking about the Vampire Diaries books, and we're talking about the fifth book in the series.
Yeah, which is the first book of the second series.
And if you're familiar with the show,
Throw it out the window.
it's forget everything you know if you're familiar with the show.
Yeah.
Except for some of the names. Some of the names.
Was Alaric even mentioned in this book?
Yes.
He was? Okay.
Yeah, because him and Meredith are practically engaged.
Cool.
That was thrown in there. Meredith had to send him a telegram because he's so remote that telegram. I didn't even know that telegrams still run.
can you? I'm gonna Google
Hey.
that. Can I
telegrams still
send
run?
a telegram?
No,
Hey.
they don't.
You know what?
He
Can I
said
send
no.
people a telegram?
I'm sure there are private services that offer like
Yeah. But like the military
not like
don't use them
telegrams,
anymore.
not like anyone can
Okay.
send one through the mail service. I'm sure it's like, hey, we can send people if you pay us, we can send people things that are kind of like telegrams.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
And I'm sure they're in like very limited areas, like one, but
Australia Post, for example, closed its telegram service on the 7th of March 2011.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So
It's reasonable.
telegrams are sent for deaths or important occasions as they are thought to be more formal than email or fax, but less so than a letter.
More formal than email or fax.
I mean,
Yes.
guess so.
Okay. So where is Alaric at the moment? I think they said Africa this book.
Yeah, I was like, he was in Russia last
Would
night.
it
I don't
really
know.
have been easier to send him?
Okay. Wait, United States. iTelegram took over telegram service from Western Union on the 27th of January 2006. Telegrams can be sent via the iTelegram website or via desk mail, a legacy Windows program. So the US still has telegrams.
But
UK,
like, it's not used really.
yeah. Oh wait, or he could be in Russia. He was in Russia the last book, so he might still
Yep.
be in Russia now. And I just pulled Africa out of my ass. Russia still has telegrams too.
You might have been
So-
thinking of Sam from the Mercy series.
Maybe.
No one cares about your dead baby, Sam. Was that
But yes.
necessary?
No.
So, yes, Meredith could have sent Alaric a telegram. It's fine. It's consistent with the laws of reality at
Yeah.
this point.
Okay.
I didn't know that up until 9 years ago I could have sent a telegram. I wish I had known. I would have sent it. I would have hopefully
At
I
least
would have
one.
made sure I would have made sure I had met you guys, and then I could have telegrammed you.
I know.
Wait, in 2011 is when it shut down? How
Yeah,
old?
in
Okay.
Australia.
We were like in high school.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
probably
just
would-
started high school.
Were we?
Let's be honest. I
Were
probably
we in
wouldn't
high
have
school
wanted.
in 20? Yes,
Yeah.
we were.
In what year?
I
We
wouldn't have
started
wanted
in
to be
high school.
friends with you probably that long
We
ago
were.
because yeah, you were like high
We would have
school.
been 14.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
14. We were in high school. Bite me.
Yeah, and I was 23, so
will
that
fight
would have
you.
been
No, we
weird.
would not have been friends.
That would have been weird. That would have been
very
predatory.
weird. Don't you dare. Go away. Go away.
What would you say?
Go away.
No, I was 22. It's
Said what?
still
No.
predatory, but
Go away.
it's fine.
Get out.
You're getting a second chance. You're getting a reprieve.
Get out.
Be nice.
My mom just sent me a picture of all the cats with the caption "stoners," meaning they all just had catnip and they're all going psycho.
My cat has started sleeping in my daughter's room.
Aw.
Daughter has mixed emotions because she likes the cat being in there, but she doesn't like her bedroom door being left open. And she does, so we have to just let it close the
That's
door
fair.
and then open it when she falls asleep. I'm like,
That's
well,
fair.
the Millie has to leave the room then, and she's like, no, she's happy in my tent because she's got a teepee in her room. And then yeah, it's an argument. So then yeah, we just okay, we'll shut the door and then we open it when she falls asleep.
That's cute.
Well, the cat's not allowed on the bed though, or she freaks the fuck out. Not because she's scared of the cat, just because the cat shouldn't be there.
If I didn't allow my cat in my bed, she would probably murder me in my sleep.
Well,
honestly,
my-
you don't have a choice with Cassie.
My poor cat, she used to sleep in my bed and all that, and then I moved in with Stixie, and he's like, not only is she not allowed in the bed, she's not allowed in the bedroom.
Look at this action shot of Sterling and Cyril in the background just being like, what is happening? And then Cheryl even farther in the background being like, I'm just going to be a stoner over here by myself.
Cats are silly.
I freaking love my cats, man. Anyways,
Yes.
Caroline eventually leaves. Elena has to now greet Matt with her mouth. And Bonnie and Meredith are like, hey, Stefan.
Oh, and
don't look
yeah,
over
like-
there.
obvious distraction. Well, meanwhile, Matt's kind of getting a boner off of a non-sexual kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because while Matt in the show gets the fuck over it.
Yeah, like he's only
Matt in the
pining
books is
over
never-
Elena for the first half of the season, and then he's fine.
Matt in the books.
Is still
It's just a cuck forever.
Yeah. He's not over it.
Poor Matt. Matt got a rough go this book, though. Poor
He
Matt.
really did.
Oh my god.
Poor Matt. We'll get to that. So next we have
I think we're back with Damon.
they're like, oh yeah, Stefan's like, I think you guys should go now. This has been quite overwhelming for Elena, and me and her have to make out again. And they're like, okay. So they leave, and we're back with Damon, and he's like, I found a girl that I'm gonna take home with me, and she can spend the night, and maybe if she's a good girl, I'll let her spend the next couple nights, and then maybe I'll vamp her. I think we already had that bit,
Yes.
but I think now he's left her and he's turned her into a vampire, and she's married, and he's like, well, won't her husband get a surprise?
Oh, yes.
And what's he actually up to right now?
I think he's infected already.
Oh, wait. Damon was also crow forming at the window, eavesdropping on everything they were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. No. And then they go to drive home, and then the forest attacks them.
Does that happen now?
Yes, because that happens on their way when they're leaving, and Damon's just sitting in the tree watching it happen.
Just standing there. And they're like, what the fuck?
How's it going?
Yep. So, yeah, the forest is attacking them. And poisoning Bonnie and stabbing them with roots and vines and shit. And Bonnie's like trying to like telepathically like call out. She's like, I'm too far from Stefan. And I'm like, you're 10
Wait,
minutes down
no,
the road.
this is after Stefan is like, I think I'm gonna take Elena away from here. It's not safe for her here. So they get mad and leave.
That's right. Because everyone thinks that Elena is dead because she died 6 months ago.
And like,
and they had a funeral. Like they found the body. Like she is officially not missing. She's dead.
She's
and buried.
legally dead.
Yeah.
And they also, like, Bonnie had a tramp thing. She starts speaking in backward English, and this is when they use a cell phone to like bring it into like forward view. I don't know why I said view when it's auditory. Whatever. It warns that Elena will have an awakening that they should be prepared for, and that's why Stefan was like, "We need to leave."
That's right. And the car thing is on the way back there the next day. That's right.
Yes.
My mistake. So they're driving back to the boarding house to have a visit, and
and then the trees attack.
Yeah, the trees attack.
Yep.
Fuck all.
Damon's a crow sitting on a branch, and he's like, I probably should help my lady, aka
and Bonnie's like calling out to him, and he's
saying
just
like, help me, and he's like, Elena would be pleased, but what can I do? And because like Damon's been getting really weird and angry about things, and like we know something's sus with him, and like we know long before anyone in the book realizes what's up with Damon. But this isn't Damon. This is possessed Damon. We get both throughout the book. So possessed Damon's sitting in a tree. He's like, now, and then I guess he does. Like real Damon comes back. He's like,
he does save Bonnie.
Yeah, he saves Bonnie and yeets her to the boarding house, and he's like, I hope the others are still alive. And Stefan's like, well, fuck. So he yeets to go get them. And
but on the way over there, they pass by Stefan, who has Elena tied to his car like a fucking balloon.
Right, because she's floating.
Yeah, she's floating and just tethered to his car.
That's right.
I forgot about that. Like with all the crazy, I forgot.
For fuck all. Like, what's the reasoning behind this?
Yeah.
Honestly, look,
Stephanie's
I'm gonna be a little honest. I a little bit wish that was the show.
I kind of wish that happened at some point. Yeah, like I would
know,
love to see Stefan tethered,
swap out
having
the
Elena
Cure and the sirens for just floaty Elena.
Yeah, no,
And
Stefan definitely should have flown Elena at least once in the show.
Yeah.
And this is when Damon's like, Stefan is super powered right now because there's some weird shit happening with Elena's blood.
Yep. Oh yeah, also they've theorized at this point as well that Elena is still spirit and she's slowly transitioning back into human, which is why she's an infant.
But that doesn't okay.
That doesn't make fucking any sense now.
Honestly, her being a child plot is the weirdest thing.
It's stupid.
And it's gonna be over soon, it's fine.
Yeah,
and then,
she's about to wake up one day and be fine.
Oh yeah, and Elena can speak a couple words now. Like, so she has the vocabulary of a 12-month-old now. It's fine. It's not as creepy.
Meaning she knows how to say no and dog. Like,
she can say please because she begs Stefan to drink her blood and make out with her 20 times a day. But anyway, so yeah, Damon takes Bonnie back to the boarding house, throws her in the bathtub, and tries to suck the poison out.
Yes. Yeah, he feeds her his blood as well.
Yeah, and then so the rest come back there, and Bonnie is unconscious at this point, and they're like, "There's blood on your face," and Damon's like, "Oh fuck, they're gonna think I tried to do a sucky suck," and then he's like, "Did I try and do a sucky suck?" And then someone's like, "You tried to suck the poison out, didn't you?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, yes.
I guess I did do that." you know. And then Bonnie wakes up and she's like, and starts screaming.
You watched while we were attacked
Yeah.
by the tree men.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's like, ugh, and looking at Damon like he's a monster, except for Elena. She's looking at him like, you're a hero. And then
I
Damon's
want
like,
your dick.
and then Damon's like, I can't be here. And then he runs away.
Have we
And-
mentioned that Elena's not a vampire anymore?
No,
well,
we haven't.
I not explicitly, like I said.
Okay.
We said that she's a spirit transitioning back to human.
Okay. Well, like, just
Yeah.
to
But
be,
yeah.
I feel
she's
like
not
just to
vampy
be
anymore.
clear, she's not a vampire
Yeah.
anymore because she died and came back. Like, I don't.
She's
'Cause-
just an angel now.
Well, because also in the show, that's not how it works. If you die as a vampire and come back,
you come back as
you
a
come back
vampire.
as a vampire.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Um,
reset your supernaturalness.
No. And then, except at the times that it does.
What do you mean?
Like, I can't remember. How did Tyler unhybrid? Or an unwerewolf? He died and then came back. I swear. Because when he came back, he wasn't a hybrid and he wasn't a triggered werewolf anymore.
I know with
I was the exception, I guess.
Alaric, it's because it was like the magic border thing,
Yeah.
and then Joe saved him from like the mortal wound that killed him initially. So
That's right, yeah.
he just got stripped of like the magic that made him into a vampire.
So his was
But what the fuck did it to Tyler?
Tyler Lockwood, not Smallwood, Lockwood, because we're talking about
The
the
show.
show.
The show now.
Okay, give me a second. I will tell you what happened with Tyler in just a moment.
Okay.
Because now I
Um,
don't remember what made him a not hybrid.
As she
Like
does
it-
that,
Yeah.
Stefan and Elena
Okay.
are floating and making out in force.
Okay. Tyler ended up on the other side, but thanks to Bonnie's sacrifice and Liv's magic, he was able to be resurrected and rejoin his loved ones in the living world in home. Shortly after he returned, he discovered he was no longer a hybrid due to the Traveler's magic purification spell. What the fuck was the Traveler's magic purification spell? Okay, so that's the bit that stripped out all of the magic thing, and that's how Alaric also was human, because he came back. But he came back at the same time as Damon and not Damon, because Damon didn't make it, but Elena, and Elena was still a vampy vamp.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
It's
know.
fucking weird, is what it is.
As they're making out in the forest, Damon is watching because, as he do,
Yeah.
just Damon just watches.
Yeah.
And then he discovers the person who since I didn't listen to the audiobook, I don't know how to pronounce their name. And I'm not
Who?
good at pronouncing names. This starts to Shinichi.
Oh, I don't know. We'll just call it Shishiba.
Shishiba.
We'll just call it Shishiba. Why not?
Yeah, so he discovers Shishiba.
Or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, whatever the fuck her name is. And then Elena wakes up the next day normal.
And Stefan's not there. And she's like, he's probably just getting me a cup of tea. And then
Yeah.
an hour later, she's like, I guess he's not getting me a cup of tea. And then she searches everywhere for a note, and there's no note. And then she's like, my journal, because he's been typing her journal now, because I guess handwritten journals are so 1991.
Yeah, right.
And we're in 2009 now. So she goes to the computer and finds a thing saying, hey, I'm going because like you're a big girl now. And oh no, that's the next day. That's the next day because she's normal before he leaves. So she's like, Stefan, I'm normal, and he's like, you're normal, and then they have sex,
Oh,
and then
Yeah.
and then they call her like the girls and Matt, and she's like,
Yeah,
I'm
they have a little
normal, and they're like,
picnic. Yeah.
yay, and then they're like, it's picnic time, so then they picnic.
But then
Um,
Tammy Bryce happens. Matt reveals stuff about Tammy Bryce here.
Yes.
That the 15-year-old was trying to mac on him and
Yes.
rub up against
Yeah.
him.
So he went to visit a friendly friend, and he got there, and Caroline was leaving. And then as Caroline was leaving, she like started like rubbing up against him, like, you know, a dog in heat. And he's like, well, this is weird, but okay, bye. And then Caroline spoke to the friend's sister, and then the sister came and started hitting on him.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is uncomfortable, and you're 15, and this is weird. So yeah, the guy did a fuckadoodle with Caroline, and then yeah, it's a thing. And then they're like, well, wait, someone needs to check and make sure that girl's okay, because like something sus is going on with Caroline, something sus is going on with this chick. Like, you're hot, Matt, but like two girls aren't going to rub up against you in the span of 10 minutes unless something sus is going on.
And Elena's like, I saw a tentacle thing inside of Damon.
Yes. And then she did like, oh, no, not yet, because that happens then the next night as well. So yeah, the tentacle thing happens, and they're like, well, that's weird. Does anything else happen at picnic?
She's like, he was being influenced by a Malik,
Yes.
which I don't like saying the word Malik like that, because in Blackwoods we have a Malik who is the best and we love him, but they're spelled very differently.
Yeah.
But it's pronounced like Malik.
Yeah.
Which is sad. And they're like,
How's
oh,
it
well, it could be
spelled?
affecting Malach. But you'd say it the same as Malik. And so the others agree that the Malik probably was influencing Tammy, and they're like, well, we need to save the girls of Fells Church from this evil.
Yeah.
Yep. And
From
then
the Malik.
and I'm pretty sure they're saying this as well, like Elena's like, Damon did try and save you, Bonnie. Like he saved you.
Mm-hmm, I think so.
Damon's a good boy, just not when he's being influenced. But it's fine.
And Damon and Shishibu are watching this whole thing happen.
Yes.
And Damon's like, I don't want my girls hurt, meaning Bonnie and Elena.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
he's adopted Bonnie now for some reason.
Yeah, he has a hard on for Bonnie.
Which is fine, because
Whatever.
Bonnie has the hard on for everything.
Yeah.
Or at least
She's like, why does Elena get all the boys?
Yeah, I was about to say, if it's got a pulse, Bonnie wants it, but Damon doesn't have a pulse. I guess if it's got a dick, Bonnie wants it.
Yeah, that's a better way to phrase it.
You know, possibly attractive and has a penis, Bonnie will do. And
this is when
also when Caroline was going apeshit earlier as well, she was going on about how Elena was nothing but a whore with worms for eyes.
Cute.
Because that is a thing that gets
Yum.
repeated many a times in the future, because, you know, Elena was a rotting corpse for a while there, so, like, you know, she had... Yeah.
The grossness.
But yeah, Elena is a whore. Every time from this point on, if we hear someone referred to as a whore, we know that they're talking about Elena. I don't know why this thing has such a anti-Elena vibe, except for maybe, I guess,
that she's an angel and it's evil.
Yeah, but where does whore come into that?
I don't know, because she's really just all Stefan all the time.
I guess it's like
than...
pre the book series starting that she's...
No, I know, but it's also really funny to hear about these, like, what these girls are doing, but then calling Elena a whore.
And so then Shishibu puts Damon in a trance to make the tentacle Malik stronger, and then Damon, this is the next day when Stefan leaves that note in the computer.
Yep.
And this is also when the cure plot shows up.
Yes.
Yep.
Our favorite plot.
The best plot of all the plots to ever grace the Vampire
Yeah,
Diaries.
so-
is the pure
yeah,
plot,
so-
obviously.
Yeah, so Elena finds in her journal, like at the end, it's like, I'm leaving. You're a big girl now. You're potty trained.
Yeah,
You're
because
potty
Damon
trained.
edits the note
Yep.
that Stefan actually leaves, which is, oh, I'm leaving
Yeah.
for a minute. And then Damon's like, no, I'm leaving you for good. I don't love you anymore.
Yeah.
Yep. This is for your own good. Go to Damon.
Yep.
Trust Damon. Love Damon. He'll be
Yep.
your boo. Bye bye.
He'll be your
and-
boo.
And then, yeah, so Elena's devastated and calls the girls, and they're like, "Oh no!" So then, like, they all come a running, and
Yeah.
Matt's
Yep.
there too, and they
And she's like,
decided,
this is the awakening.
yeah, this was my awakening, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't know if that's actually like, this makes no sense, but okay, I guess this is where we're going at the moment.
Yep.
And then they're like, okay, I guess it's sleepover time. Matt,
Yeah.
you're
Yes,
not
it is
invited
sleepover
to.
time.
You're not invited to sleepover.
And then Matt's
it's
just
well,
like, aw. And it's like, oh, poor Matt.
But I want to be
Yeah.
with the girl.
and he's like, well, I can't get home. I got to ride with these guys. And Elena's like, oh, because also Stefan's like, I paid a year's worth of board for the boarding house. I left you 20 grand in cash. There's that new Porsche I bought you yesterday. Like all this
Jaguar.
stuff. Like
yeah, like,
Jag,
honestly,
sorry.
get you a Stefan.
Yeah, like if you're gonna be dumped, that's the way to get dumped. Like,
Get you a man who will dump you like Stefan.
yeah. So, she's like, drive my like uber expensive shiny new car home, and just be back really early in the morning so no one sees the car and gets us. So he's like, okay. So then he's driving home, and he's like, I'm driving home, and then
Just
there's
existing as Matt do.
and then there's
And then this is where
tree
shit
across
really
the
gets
road.
wild.
Yeah. And then there's a tree across the road, and he's like, well, that ain't good. And then a wild bug thing flies into the car and tries to tentacle swirl him.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. And then he fights it off, and he gets gashes down his arms and shit. And he's like, no. But he wins. He's hurt,
Yes.
but he wins. And then he drives home, but doesn't get out of the car. And he just parks on the street and passes it out in the car. Then he wakes up. It's like 4:30 in the morning. He's like, I guess I should go
Goes
to my
back
room.
to the... Oh, no. Does he not go back to the boarding house yet?
No, he goes back
No.
into his room, and then he's asleep until 9.
Yep.
Now,
Oh.
in the meantime, the girls are having a slumber party.
Yep.
Of course.
And I don't think anything of massive consequence happens at the slumber party. They're just like, oh, like, we're all here together again. It's sad that Stefan's gone. What a jerk face. But, we're here
But
for
we
you,
have
Elena.
each other.
And
We'll always
Elena's
have our
like,
blood up from book 1.
yeah, but Elena's also low-key thinking, like, Elena's like, I'm so glad you're here to help me with this. But low-key, she's thinking, if sacrificing you to the gods would bring Stefan
Would
back
get
to me,
Stefan
I
back?
totally would.
Yeah.
I'd murder you right now.
Yeah.
But
Elena's a
she's
scary
Elena.
bitch, let me tell you.
Yeah. And she's like, I always knew that Stefan was going to leave me for my own good one day, but I thought I would at least be awake to try and stop him. And yeah, that's about it for the
At least she's
sleepover.
aware that she has a broody vampire boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But then
And then
Matt goes
Matt-
back to the boarding house.
Yeah, Matt wakes up. It's 9 a.m. He's got a phone call from Meredith, and they're like, where are you? I thought you were coming back. He's like, oh, no. Look, I got to do a shower and shit, and there was stuff, and I got to call the police about the tree across the road. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure that's not a police thing.
No.
I have to call the cops on this tree.
They're
Like,
gonna arrest
It's
the
looking
tree.
a little suspicious.
You know who you know what department you call over that if you've only got like the 3 standard, like,
I think
police,
it's fire.
and, yeah, you call the fireys over that.
Because they have axes. Or you just call your redneck neighbors and they bring their chainsaws out. And
Yeah,
they
like
Yeah,
you're in,
cut
you're
it up.
like in,
That's what
you're
happens
in
down
Virginia.
the south.
Yeah.
You're in Virginia. It's fine. Like, you're in okay, you're in a town, but surrounding the town is country. it's probably gone
I'm
by
sure
now.
at least 5 guys have a chainsaw that they
Yeah,
can just
like,
divide
why
up
don't you
firewood
have a
that winter.
chainsaw?
Like,
Matt, this is
but
why
anyway.
you couldn't keep Elena's attention.
So he calls the police
Because you
about
call
a tree.
cop on trees.
And then he showers and gets to the boarding house. It's like 11, and he's like, it's a thing. And then so like they're talking, and he's like, I
And
got
Mrs.
attacked last
Flowers,
night.
this is
I'm
when
all
she reveals
infected.
herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's
I'm
like,
a witch.
Mrs. Flowers is like, hey, I'm a witch. I'm gonna fix your arm. It's infected as fuck. And they're like, excellent, thank you. So then they're talking
And he also
about
has a bite mark
yes,
in his neck.
where I tried to do a thing, but it looks like a hickey. Wow.
Yeah.
And then he gets a call from the cops.
Yeah.
And they're like, is this what's his last name again? Honeycutt.
Oh, it's something roasty.
Honeycutt,
Yeah,
yes.
Honeycutt.
I'm so glad they changed his name in the
Yeah,
series.
me too.
What's his last name in the series again?
Donovan.
Donovan.
Yeah,
that's
Matt
right.
Donovan. That's much better.
Yep. Because Vicky's still Vicky Donovan in the books, isn't she?
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
added
Yeah, so
him
they-
to Vicky.
Yeah, which I think was a good choice. Because I mean, that said, though, can you imagine TV shows' last name being like TV Matt's last name being Honeycutt?
Honeycutt.
It would have just made it all the more adorable. But yeah, he's like, Mr. Honeycutt, we don't appreciate false reports. You wasted our time. You could be faced with a $25,000 fine and a year in jail for calling in a fake tree. And Matt's like, wait, what?
He's like,
And
what?
he's like, and we also don't appreciate people stealing road signs. And he's like, I haven't ever stolen a road sign. He's like,
Yeah.
Mr. Honeycutt, there was
Don't lie to me.
there was an expensive car parked outside your residence last night. Do you know anything about that? And he's like, it's a friend's car. And he's like, who's your friend? And they're like,
Don't say
no,
Stefan
Elena's
Salvatore.
dead.
Also, but also don't say Stefan.
And then he's like, it's my friend's girlfriend's car. And he's like, and who's your friend? Stefan. And who's his girlfriend? And the girls are like, and Meredith's like, fuck it, I'll bite the bullet. It's me. It's my car. And then he's like, okay, Meredith. And he's like, oh, and how can I get a hold of Meredith? And he's like, well, here, talk to her. And she's like, yeah, that's my boyfriend's out of town, but it's my car. He gave it to me. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And Matt would never steal any road signs nor false report felled trees.
A tree.
Yeah.
Like, don't send him to jail over a tree, please. And he's just like, I'll get back to you if I have any more questions, and hangs
Well,
up.
before
And I'm
that,
like,
he's
I feel
like-
like cops wouldn't even follow up with a phone call.
Well, before that, he's also, or maybe it's later, but he's also like, it's very odd that this very expensive car changed hands privately. I don't understand.
I think,
Is that later?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Because they also get like questioned about the car and like, why do like you children have expensive cars?
That's later, I think, when he rocks up.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm like,
Um,
because part of me was also like, well, it is a small town.
yeah.
Well, like kids that went
Um,
to our high school drove like
But
Range
it's also
Rovers.
like,
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, the small town popular kids, they drive expensive fucking cars, bro.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like,
And you, the cops
And
that
yes-
are paid off by their parents, would know about that.
yeah, and I understand that, like, that kind of car is probably unusual in a small town. Because,
It's not. Well, it depends.
Maybe. I mean, I don't. Jaguars weren't really a thing
It's-
when we were in high school because I think they were bankrupt when we were in high school. So I don't know
Yeah.
about that. But like, people were driving Camaros. People were driving like the fanciest pickup trucks known to
Yeah,
man,
like the
Range
rich
Rovers.
kids in
Like,
town,
Yeah.
they drive
no,
this
no,
stuff.
I'm just saying, like, European, like, sports cars are probably unusual in small country town Virginia. It's probably more the SUVs, like expensive high-end SUVs.
I'm trying to think of like if anyone
pickups.
had a Beamer or anything like that. I
don't know.
I don't think anyone did. I think it was mostly just expensive American cars.
Yeah.
But literally all you have to say to that is like, you know that Stefan's Italian, right? And leave it at that.
And he's loaded.
Yeah,
Cool.
he's a loaded Italian guy. Like his wardrobe costs more than your house, just so you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Like his jacket costs more than your car. Also, why does such a small town have a police department?
Well,
It's a very small town. I would have thought they would have a sheriff's department.
like the county.
Yeah.
Some small
I feel
towns
like-
do have their
Yeah.
own police departments.
Yeah, like the towns
Yeah.
that we're from have police departments, and they're pretty dang small.
True.
And they've had them for a long time. Because like they're
It just
bigger
depends
now.
if the town's been incorporated or not. Is
But
that right?
Yeah, because like they're bigger now, but like they've had their police departments for a long time, and they
Mhm.
also have the county sheriff departments.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
But I will say also, the sheriff department for the county that we're from is in the same building as the police department for my city.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I didn't know where they were located. I didn't know if it was your town or my town that they were located in.
Mine.
Oh.
That's where it is.
Hmm.
That's where our shitty, sleazy ass sheriff
The
is.
more you know.
yeah, no.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Every time,
So
so
I'm
like
just getting educated because we just have
every
New
time we
South
do the
Wales
local
police.
elections, I vote against our sheriff because he's a sleazeball. Yeah, he'll
Um,
always win, but he's a sleazeball. I don't
One
like.
day he won't.
one day he'll die.
One day he'll be
One
gone.
day he'll
Yeah,
die.
Yeah.
Because he's probably old now, isn't he?
Yeah, because he's been sheriff since I was like 8.
The county-
So he's getting older. One day he'll step down. One day he'll retire and then pass away happily in his bed.
20 years was like a grand dragon of the KKK. It was the county sheriff.
Can you come over here and say that?
What county?
Did I just hear something about a grand dragon?
You did. Come over here
Yeah.
and say things.
Okay.
Hello. I'm joining in for a moment, I guess.
Hi.
I was just telling her that the county I'm from in Florida, no surprise, back during like the civil rights era, the county sheriff was like a very well known to be high ranking in the KKK.
Grand Dragon, you say?
Yeah, I think so. And everyone pretty much knew. Like if you, his name was Willis McCall. And if you Google him, there's like
Google this
books
shit.
about him and like there's been documentaries about him. Yeah. And so that was Lake County, Florida.
Willis V. McCall, you say? There is a Wikipedia about him.
Willis V. McCall.
Probably, yeah.
There's
a wicked-
him.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a
he
whole
looks.
Wikipedia
He's
page.
an
Well,
interesting.
Willis- The V stands for Virgil.
Yes, it
Oh,
does.
bless
Willis
him.
stands for the V stands for Virgil.
Unsurprising.
He's a fascinating looking man.
And like if I remember correctly, there was
He
a
served like 7 terms.
he quote unquote arrested 2 young black guys and they just went missing. They went from his car and just never got to the jail.
Oof.
But again, I think this was
He-
back in the 50s or
yeah.
60s, wasn't it? Is that when it was?
Yeah. He lost his bid for an 8th term shortly after being acquitted of the murder in 1972 of Tommy J. Vickers,
He
a
lost
mentally
his.
disabled black prisoner who died in his
Yeah, so
custody.
he served 7 terms and he
He
lost
served
the
7
for the
terms
8th.
and lost the
Yeah.
8th one after being acquitted of murder.
Yeah.
Acquitted of murder, even though clearly he did a murder.
So
After-
yeah,
that's the county I'm
He
from
was
in Florida.
investigated for
It's like-
multiple.
The sheriff down there is
Or-
actually pretty good right now. My granddad's really good friends with him.
Yeah.
Oof.
So and he's like actually a really good guy. But yeah, that's what he used to be.
Yeah.
No, like the
During
sheriff.
his 28-year tenure as sheriff, he was investigated multiple times for civil rights violations and inmate abuse, tried for murder, but was never convicted.
The sheriff where
Oof.
we're from is not like a KKK member or anything. He's just
It's just a dick.
he's just it's just small town politics stuff where
But not like the white supremacist guys.
not that kind of thing where like Addie knows about this. Where like our school, like those families are so like embedded in giving him money so that they get
Oh
in
yeah,
trouble
like
for
we hired like our school hired the cops and stuff to come and just monitor our carpool. Which I know that like some public schools do that in like high traffic areas, but we were not in a high traffic area. They would just bring cops in all the time.
but
Just
like
chill.
our county and stuff, like those families that were like a problem at our school also have like all the sheriffs, like have the sheriff's office paid off so that nothing ever happened to those kids whenever they did dumb shit. And
Yeah.
also like our school was like it was rules for like
Well, also a lot of cops' dads were there were a lot of kids' dads were cops at our
Yeah.
school too.
yeah,
I know at least 3 people whose fathers were cops in our county's department
yeah.
or in the cities.
Yeah, and then also those same kids with like those families donated fuck tons of money to the school. And if your family donated money to the school, you could like murder
You were
someone at the
invincible.
school and you got
You were
like nothing
invincible.
happened to you. But like one girl, she got suspended for what did she say?
She said the word penis at a poetry reading.
And she got suspended.
While one of the football kids set off a fire extinguisher in a girl's locker, sent her to the hospital, and he did not get suspended. He did not get expelled. He did not get any charges against him. He was just allowed to exist.
Yeah,
But
one girl said penis.
the girl,
and
yeah,
got
she almost got
suspended.
suspended.
And then one guy
she did for one day. She got suspended for one day.
She got suspended for a day. And then one guy who was part of one of these families set off a fire extinguisher in a girl's locker, sent her to the hospital and everything. Nothing happened to him.
What the fuck?
That's
Both
what
in
we
the,
said.
all that happened in the same year. Also.
And all that happened in the same year, too. Small town politics, everybody.
Anyways,
Fun.
so Meredith and Bonnie go to visit Caroline to see if she's fucked up with Malik. And this is Lizard version 2, where she's on the ceiling, scuttling around. She runs under her bed and the bed of the bed in her mother's
and
room.
mummy's acted a
And
bit
Mummy
sus at
faints.
first, but
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, Caroline's literally scuttling around the house, up the walls and
then
on the ceiling.
Meredith and Bonnie, their ankles get grabbed, and so Bonnie calls Damon, and Damon just makes out with Bonnie, frees them, and leaves.
Yep.
None of it made sense, but okay.
Yep.
And Matt and Elena are gonna go visit
Oh,
Tammy.
and during this is when Bonnie is like, I think it's during this. So no, this is later. Never mind. Meanwhile, because also a lot of these scenes as well, like they're only like part scenes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like we get like 5 minutes with Bonnie and Meredith, and then we cut to Matt and Elena, and then we just interchange between the two. So these two things are happening simultaneously. Matt and Elena are going to to Tammy, the guy friend's house with the, you know, slutty younger sister.
Yeah.
Who has super glued a stripper outfit to herself?
Yeah, what she did was she got a pair of, you know, just normal brief, you know, underwears. And yes, underwears, don't judge me. And she turned them into a G-string / thong, depending on what country you're from, depends on what you call it. That. And then she's got 2 bits of cardboard that she's put glitter on, and then super glued them to her nipples.
As pasties.
And she's like, "Hi!" And Matt's like,
Matt's like,
so he's just turned around, and she's like, "But honey butt," because, you know, apparently like that's a cute way to like flirt with the guys, to call him honey butt.
I don't play his last name Honeycutt.
He's last name Honeycutt.
So they're calling him honey butt. A cute way to flirt with a guy is not by calling him honey butt.
Even if his last name is Honeycutt.
Hey babe. Would you like me more if I called you honey butt?
No.
He said no.
I don't even need to ask Dixie. I'd probably just get like a dot in response.
Was a unanimous no?
No,
from the male council?
Absolutely, I would, but I think he's lying to me.
Oh, he's probably being sarcastic.
That sounded sarcastic. I heard the tone.
Yeah.
Let me put nail oil on your fingers.
And then, yeah, so they're trying to like, and then Tammy starts screeching at Elena that she's a whore with worms for eyes.
Nice, as we all do.
Yep.
Downstairs.
Am I just cuticles to you?
Oh,
You're
sorry, a
just
whore with
beautiful.
worms in her eye
Cuticles to
sockets.
you.
I want to nail oil his fingers.
I want to nail oil his
Stixie
fingers.
won't let me. Stixie
He'll
won't
let
let
me.
me.
He'll ask for
he-
it sometimes.
He let me do his thumb once.
Sorry.
Do you want me to open that for you? Okay. Can I have one?
What's he eating?
Sour Patch Kids, and I want one.
Oh, yum.
Can I please?
Give her
I was the
one.
one who convinced you to buy them. Oh, you gave me a blue one. Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
wait. Bay's getting to nail oil.
No, you can't have one oiled hand. You're gonna have one pretty hand and one not pretty hand.
I don't like the way this feels.
Please.
Are you happy now?
Tell him if it makes him
You-
feel any better. It's actually technically a
It's actually
wax,
saying
not
that
an
if I
oil.
go see Noah lets Laura do his nails, you should let me do yours.
I'll let you do my nails.
No.
Why not?
That's not what I'm saying.
What were you saying?
Is Ashley saying something Christian to the effect of see Noah lets Laura oil his cuticles? No. What? One was enough.
It's fine.
Hey,
So-
I'll let him pick out my nail polish.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I'll be like, what do I want to do? And he'll pick it out for me. Can I have another one, please?
Go on.
What?
Can I have some of my own birthday candy before you ask for some?
You already you're chewing right now.
You asked me the moment I opened it. The very second I cracked it
You
open.
did.
Can I have one?
You did. I could hear him opening it when you were asking. To be fair, he
Mara
is
agrees
correct.
with you.
Oh no, I'm not saying that you were wrong in doing so. I'm just acknowledging that you did.
Sorry.
Okay. Anyways,
What are
So
you
yeah,
doing?
then Tammy is trying to like pole dance on Matt, and it's very awkward.
yes.
They call the cops or Child Protective Services or whatever because they're like, this is fucked up because her parents are away and her brother's at his girlfriend's house. So then they're like, we should probably go. Like his girlfriend probably needs some checking out too because God knows, what the fuck's happening. So yeah, they call Child Protective Services to come and collect the 15-year-old that's dressing like
Super
a
glue
whore.
cardboard to her nipples.
Yes, and cutting her underwear into thongs and etc. I can't remember why they don't go there because then the Meredith and Bonnie end up going there.
They go to the old wood.
That's right, to go meet up with Damon.
Yes. And then Bonnie and Meredith go to Isabel's house
Yes.
where she
And-
has mutilated herself.
Yeah, so they do a knock on the door and whatever his name is, like her boyfriend, and Tammy's brother. He opens the door and they're like, "Hi, is your girlfriend home?" And he's like, "She is, but she's not taking guests right now." And they're like, "She's doing something sus, isn't she?" And he's like, "How did you know?" And they're like, "We just know. Like, let us in." So then he goes in and he's like, "She's not usually like this, I swear." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And they go in and there's blood everywhere. She's pierced. This chick is apparently the quiet, shy, nerdy bookworm. Probably plays the violin.
Yep.
Probably like the quintessential stereotypical studious Asian student. Like this is what this girl is. Yeah, she ain't now. She's not now. She's pierced everything. Half her face isn't even moving anymore because probably one of her piercings hit the nerve, etc. And then she starts screeching about how Caroline came to see her. He slept with Caroline because the two of them were being good. They were planning on waiting for each other and doing the right
How
thing, being
adorable.
responsible. But then he fucks Caroline. And
I mean,
they're
hey.
like, why did you leave your sister at home? And he's like, it seemed to be worse while I was there, and it implies heavily that his sister was trying to sleep with him.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Which, fair. If I was a teenage boy and my little sister started to try and sleep with me,
I'd also
I would be
leave.
getting the fuck
Yeah.
out of there too. Like, absolutely fair. So this is the first bit of incest weirdness we get to. First. Not last, but first.
Also, I have to wonder
Probably
why
it's the
authors
least
even
creepy
include incest weirdness. Like, what is that about?
PC and Kristen Cast.
Mortal Instruments, which is one of my favorite series, does have some incest shit happening in it too. Which I get it, but then also it's also just weird. Like, I get it in the context of the book, I mean, but it's also just weird. I kind of wish she'd found another way to keep the two of them apart. But no, she had to make him think that they were brother and sister. But anyway,
That's weird.
oh, it's a thing, and then yeah, that's a whole other thing.
But they're not really brother and sister, right?
No, they're not. He was raised by her father, but he's not her brother though. But she does have a brother, which is why they thought that, which is why they believed
Could have been
that
him.
he was, yeah. But then her actual brother, who knows he's her brother, makes out with her for a minute. She doesn't know it's her brother at this point though, but she's also like, she's a bit taken aback, and she's like, this is weird though. But then when her and Jace still think that they're brother and sister, and not even half, full-blooded brother and sister, they do make out a couple of times while under the impression that they're brother and sister.
Okay.
I'm uncomfy. Let's continue.
Yes,
More
I'm
uncomfy
uncomfy. Let's
subjects.
continue.
Yes.
So now, they're like, wow, this bitch needs to go to the hospital. Let's leave. Let's go find Mrs. Flowers. Meanwhile, Matt and Elena find Damon, who orders them to, oh yes, this is the
Oh
almost
yes, this
forced
was
sex
so
tape.
weird.
Who's like, y'all should make out and fuck while I record it.
Yeah, so it's like, you aren't getting out of here alive unless she's kissed. So then Elena does the same sort of kiss she did
Thank you.
when she was Spirit Elena, and Damon's like, that's not the right kind of kiss. I want to see some boners growing. And so then they do a make out kiss, and they're like, are you happy now? And he's like, now. He pulls out the video camera. He's like, now Matt, take off her shirt. And they're like, wait, what? And then he starts explaining in detail what they're going to start doing. And Matt's just like, we're not doing that. And Elena's like crying, and she's like, please don't make us do this. And Matt's like, no. And then Elena realizes Matt's going to kill himself rather than do this. Meanwhile, also, I think at this point as well, we've already also had the cop pop back up somewhat, at the boarding house, and be like, by the way, Matt's wanted for rape.
I don't think that's happened yet.
Yeah, I don't think that's happened yet.
I thought that happened
Not
before
yet.
this scene.
I don't think it's
I
happened
don't
yet.
think so.
Okay.
But soon.
Okay, but soon then.
So she's trying to help Matt by persuading Damon to leave. And then she leaps out of the speeding car.
Oh yeah, so Damon knocks Matt out.
Yep. After
and then
torturing
they get in
him
the
for a little
car. Yep. And
So
then
we
they
talked
get in the
about-
car.
Well, in that scene though, Elena's like, this isn't Damon.
Yeah,
Yes.
she clicks.
She realized that
because because Damon calls him Matt and says
Instead
it's
of
normally.
Mutt. Have we talked about the fact that Damon's
No, we
the
haven't.
real Damon just calls him Mutt for no reason?
Yeah, and then the couple times where he does say Matt, it's kind of like a bad taste in his mouth as it's coming out,
Yeah.
which wasn't pre-established in the previous books. So, and I think that, and the fact that this was written 20 years later goes to show this was never a planned series. There was
No,
the
God,
end
no.
was meant
Yeah.
to be the end.
Yeah.
So we're having to do a lot of retconning now.
Yeah.
So now
Fucking
Damon
retconning.
calls Matt Mutt. And I don't know. That also just doesn't feel like Damon.
No.
Like real Damon. It's not
No,
a
because
Damon
Damon's
thing to,
nicknames are like
he calls Bonnie
like
Bon Bon.
and like
And it
Vampire
starts off
Barbie.
like
Yeah.
Bonnie, like they're ones that, depending on the tone in which you say them, are either affectionate or just condescending. Or
Yeah.
condescendingly affectionate,
They're not like super fucking lame.
Yeah, they're not a double-digit IQ high school bitch
Yeah.
Yeah.
insult, but
Um.
yeah. So yeah, he calls Matt, and Elena's like, that's not Damon.
Mhm.
And so then she's like, come with me, and he's like, okay, I'll come with you. Let's do a thing on Matt. So then and then he knocks Matt out, and they get in the car, and Elena's like, go this way. And Damon's just
Yeah,
speeding
because she's
up
trying to like get to a nearby house.
Yeah.
Yep. And so they go around the bend, and she's like, and she yeets out of the car, but she fucks herself up because Damon didn't slow down. He's driving pretty fucking fast. She's got a dislocated shoulder, a broken ankle, this and that. She finds like a branch to use as a crutch or whatever, and she's hopping along to this house. She's trailing blood all behind her.
But she can't find it because of Chi Boo.
Yeah, so
I'm changing her
does
name
a
every single
mindfuck.
time I say it.
You know what?
And like,
Don't worry.
We all know
about
who
it.
you're talking about, though.
and like,
There's only one Chi Boo in the series, and it's fine.
Yeah.
And look, if this had been written today with how popular it was, it would have gotten like murdered for cultural appropriation or something. So just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
so
then, so they she does the thing, and then Damon becomes Damon again.
yes, because he's like, fuck, I hurt Elena.
Yep, and then he does a rescue of Elena, and Elena's passed out at this point and can't remember what happened. So she's like, Damon, you're my hero. So then, he does a rescue.
Yeah.
Then
After some key bullshit.
Yeah. And then, okay, so now Bonnie and Meredith are back at the boarding house with Mrs. Flowers, and Cop walks in, and he's like, Matt did a rape-a-doodle on a person. And they're like, who's the person? And he's like, Caroline Forbes. And they're like, no, he didn't. And he's like, oh, really? And then they're like, you need a warrant to be here. And he didn't steal no road signs. And he's like, okay, bye. So the cop leaves. And then they're like, we'll vouch for him. And they're like, no, she'll have said that it was the night that he got attacked by the tentacle. So he's got like the hickey and the scratches down his arms and this and that. And it'll look like, they started to hook up, and then she wanted to stop. And he said, no stopping. So then they're like, fuck, Matt's going to get done for rape. And then we cut to Matt. Matt's waking up in a field, and he's like, where am I? And then
in a
like,
field, Matt.
Elena.
You're in a field.
So then he follows he follows the road, and then he's like, oh, look, I'm a tracker now, and there's broken branches over there. Elena must have jumped out of the car. Oh, look, there's blood. So he follows the blood and broken branch trail.
Suddenly Matt is smart.
Yeah, like
for like a minute.
Because then also he's like, oh, look, she's found a crutch because like she was clearly hopping along here. And I'm like, how do you know this, Matt? How?
This reminded me of something kind of funny that happens in the show, which is when like Matt and Jeremy become friends, when Jeremy becomes a hunter, and they start like finding things, and they're like going to Damon independently because they don't want Elena to know that they're doing things. And then Damon's like, you're about to impress me. Don't fuck it up. And it's like a funny moment in the show because you're like, oh, they're smart. And Damon's like, I can't believe you guys are fucking smart. It's a cute moment in the show. Anyway, it's fucking weird here because Matt goes from just being like a dumb, lovesick Elena person to like super tracker.
Yeah. Suddenly Matt can track well enough to determine the pressure of footprints and whether or not someone's hopping, etc., etc. And then so he goes to the house where Elena was trying to go, and he knocks on the door.
Yeah.
And someone answers the door, and they're looking really tense. He's like, I need to see, like, did a blonde teenage girl come here looking for help? And they're like, no. And he's like, excuse me, ma'am. My name is Matthew Honeycutt, and I'm a good little boy. I just need to see her. I don't want to
I'm a
hurt
real
her."
boy.
And they're like,
Sorry.
and then they're like, come on in. The girl's not there, but they still invite him in. You know,
Yeah.
'cause I
Which
guess
is-
just so we could have this weird scene. And there's a mother, a father, and a brother, and they're all looking really uncomfortable and tense. And Matt's thinking they're hiding Elena from him because they think
Yeah.
that this girl,
She's-
this badly hurt girl, rocked up, and now someone's looking for her.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And he's like, and they're like, no girl came, I promise. And he's like, are you sure? She's my friend. And they're like, no. And he's like, okay. I'm thinking this isn't going to look good for Matt in the future because he's looking for a badly beaten blonde girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you say it,
And
like
he's
that.
he's already being suspected for rape
Yeah.
and false tree alarming and road sign stealing. Like,
Which of all, like, the combination of things to be wanted for the police by,
Yeah.
Rape.
Rape, road
stop
steal,
sign
signing,
stealing,
and then false tree
report.
reporting. What? He has an interesting rap sheet. I'm sorry. I'm
Yep.
sewing because I need something to do with my hands.
yeah.
Oh, you're
And
sewing.
then,
Sewing.
Yep.
Whatever.
What are you sewing?
I'm needle
what are you
pointing.
sewing? Oh, okay.
Oh, what are you
Hold on. Let me finish this part and then I'll pull
doing?
it up.
Okay.
I'm so excited at the moment as well because like the study is currently like chock-a-block full of my mom's old craft stuff and like my old cross stitching and everything, and I found like about
I
5 of
want
my
to get into that.
incomplete
I
cross
wanted to get
stitches.
into that so bad.
So I'm
Needle
gonna
pointing
finish
is so
them
much
once
fun.
it's done.
There are like needle pointing stores in Atlanta and they're open again, and I'm like, I want to go. I want to go really bad. Fuck, there's nowhere for me to. There's nowhere for me to post
Okay.
this shit.
Anyways,
Yep. So
that's all happening.
we're about to discover why everyone in the family is looking so uncomfortable because then their 11-year-old daughter / sister, because you know there's also a boy in the house,
Yeah.
comes out and she's wearing very much similar to what Tammy was wearing. Down to the cardboard glittered shit.
It is
Tasty.
this.
Oh,
Oh,
pretty.
that's so cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, I want to do shit like that. Oh my god.
It's really
It's
like
fun.
relaxing.
I know,
And
that's
fun.
why I want to do it.
And I like
'Cause the
needle
Thai guys have
pointing
done
better
quite
than
a bit of stuff like that.
Bay and I have talked extensively about this. How needle pointing is better than cross stitching. I feel like have
Yeah.
we? Because
Yeah,
needle
yeah, we
pointing you
have.
can do a lot of different stitches and you can be more creative with it. Also, cross stitching like keeps you tethered to like blocky
Text-
shit, so it
Yeah.
looks pixelated.
Yeah.
And needle
Which
pointing
if that's what
doesn't.
you're going for, that works. But like,
Yeah,
if
cross
it's
stitch
not-
can look nice, but like needle pointing just it winds up looking nicer.
It depends as well, like with cross stitch. Like if it's the thinner the thread, and the bigger the picture, obviously the less pixelated it looks.
Yeah,
'cause,
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
because I guess it's like a picture with more pixels.
But also,
So-
if you like that look for like a certain part of it, you can still do that stitch on a needle pointing
Yeah.
canvas.
Yeah,
But,
'cause
like-
needle pointing, like you do different stitches to add different looking textures.
But like how I did her hair is like longer stitches to give it like
Mhm.
extra, or like to make it stand out. or
Hair
whatever.
like.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's fun.
It is.
I highly
Um,
recommend behaving like an old lady.
I want to. It's
Some
just-
old lady behaviors are fun.
They are.
Okay.
Start
And one day
young.
one day I'm actually going to finish my. I've got like this giant thick ass wool that's about like that thick,
Mhm.
and it's to make a blanket, and I've
Yes.
have my really fat knitting
Yes.
needles and shit.
I want to learn how
I just
to
haven't
knit.
gotten around to do it. It's pretty easy. Like
Yeah.
or basic knitting is pretty easy. Basic knitting.
Like, because I tried to
When-
learn
I
from
still
like a
can't
book.
do like the patterns yet.
Learning from a book didn't work.
Yeah, the hardest thing to learn is how to cast on and cast off. Once you
Yeah.
cast on and cast off, then the rest is either just revert. Like, and then obviously, and then patterns. Patterns get more complicated, but the basic, I can't remember the actual terms, but the basic like type of knitting, or the reverse thing, which is what the back side of your knitting looks like. You can do
Mhm.
both, and that creates like that ribbing pattern if you
Yeah.
alternate between those. Beyond that, I haven't done that yet. I'm not that advanced. I can, but one day I will get there. I've knit a hat. That was fun. I knit a little beanie. But I really want to learn how to crochet because I want to make more of these because I don't
Right,
want to always
crocheting.
buy them.
I really want to learn to crochet like that because it's prettier.
Well, I love crocheted hats, like loose hats that, all loose and stuff because
Yeah,
they're comfy in winter. One day,
yeah,
crochet's harder.
but
But
it looks nicer. I feel like.
well, also it depends on what you're wanting. Like if you're wanting,
Yeah, that's true.
if you want a floppy hat, you want to crochet it, not knit it.
Anyway, old lady talk.
Anyway,
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Yes. So the 11-year-old daughter comes out, and yeah, she's dressed like a stripper, and she starts hitting on Matt, calling him honey butt too, and he's like, there's a link. And it's like, no duh, Matt, no duh. And then they explicitly state that she's been they're like she's behaving like this with her brother too, Gulp, and her father.
Ugh.
And Matt's like, you'll need to get her like locked away like immediately, and I gotta go. Bye.
Yeah. Yuck.
And this is where I started
meanwhile,
listening. This is where I started listening to it on like 3.5 speed to get it finished in time because I had to quit for a bit because I just couldn't anymore, and then I'm like, fuck, I've got like God knows how much.
I just
Time.
honestly, I was
And
about
this how-
to, and then I just
So I've
powered
got-
through. I was like,
Yeah.
because I was like, I knew if I quit, I wouldn't finish it. I would not come back.
So I've only got basic gist from this point on. Basic gist, not like yeah.
but I know meanwhile for this, Damon and Elena, or Damon's finding Elena,
Mm-hmm.
and they finds
Yeah.
her, and he's like, me and Shishibu kidnapped your boyfriend, your finance, her finance.
Her finance, indeed.
And then he kind of reveals like the whole villain thing where Shishibu and Misibu is what I will call them. I feel like this is very, very bad of me to say, but I'm not going to try to pronounce things.
Oh,
they're
wait.
twins.
We missed a bit, sorry. Also, when they were in the room with the self-piercy chick,
Oh, yes.
Bonnie Google searched on her phone
Salem Witches, right?
Salem Witches because she said something that made her think of the Salem Witches, and then I'm not exactly clear on how they tied in. I don't know if that's explained or not.
I don't
It's not
remember.
explained?
I don't know about you
Okay.
guys, but like with the whole Mrs. Flowers thing, I was waiting for her to turn into a fox insect. Like
That's right, because before half the shit happened in this book, there's foxes, but weird looking foxes, and then the other half is bugs. And I don't know if the foxes and the bugs are related, or if they're in league, or if it's just two things happening at the same time.
well, part of me was like, is it like the same thing? I didn't know. I was confused.
There was a lot out of left field. There's a lot out of left field. And they want
Wait.
Shishibu and his twin.
Wait, are you gonna actually be readable? Sorry, no, it's not gonna be readable. YouTube is deleting videos of robots fighting because of animal cruelty.
What?
That's stupid.
That's not
You
what that
heard
is.
me right.
Hey.
Sorry,
You.
carry on.
Man, YouTube is deleting videos of animals fighting because of animal cruelty. How do you feel about that?
YouTube is deleting videos of robots fighting because it violates animal cruelty.
So what if it's like two like those
He
two,
deep
like,
fried.
wild big sheep, they're like button heads. Did you believe in that?
No, robots fighting.
Two robots fighting each other.
No, two robots fighting each other
Got deleted.
because of animal cruelty.
They look like animals.
No.
No.
But even if they did, they're
Well, you two
robots.
retarded as always.
Fucking PETA.
He
Anyway,
says YouTube is R-worded.
um,
It's not what I said.
okay. So they
I'm an
want to
author. I
destroy
can't
church.
say things like
You know
that.
what I said.
They want to destroy Fell's Church.
Yes.
They are bonded to the
because
Malik
also
the
Fell's
trees,
Church is
and
like
everything
Yeah, 'cause
weird.
Fell's-
It's ley lines.
yeah, Fell like
Because ley lines are a thing now.
layman's terms. Fell's Church is is Sunnydale of this series. It's the Hellmouth.
Yeah. Because also ley lines weren't a thing
No.
back in the, but like ley lines are like supernatural power pathways, and they're things in like other pieces of media, like hotspots and ley lines and shit. It just like wasn't a pre-established thing. There's a lot of stuff in this book that was not.
No. And
No.
then Damon does a sucky suck of Elena's blood, and he's like, "Oh shit, this is some OP as fuck blood. This is interesting." And then he gets repossessed, attacks Elena, and she flees with this magic key that it's fuck it, whatever.
It's fucking
I don't care anymore, dude.
Yeah, like
I just don't
this
care.
is also when I
No.
gave up. So
Well, yeah,
I'm
we
not gonna
stop caring at this point.
Yeah, I
And
stopped
then-
giving a shit too.
Then there's a bunch
But
of
now-
angel bullshit next with Damon, and
Yeah, and somehow we get to like I think Bonnie and Meredith find Stefan. Do they find Stefan?
I don't know.
no, well
I don't
they're
know.
taken prisoner first
Oh, okay, yep, they're taken
It's
prisoner
by the
and-
twins.
It's genuinely at
Yep.
this point where I went, Addie has
It's-
notes.
I don't have good notes for this though because I can't even tell you what the word skim meant to me. Because it just angel shit happens. People are kidnapped while trying to find Elena.
yeah, I know
Damon?
that Bonnie.
Question mark.
I know that possessed Damon ends up being like Elena, like you have to choose, and Elena's like, well, if I go for one, the other one's gonna be dead and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a I don't know what to do situation. She's like, I refuse to choose, and I don't know what happens after that. Honestly, I don't know.
But Elena does go visit Stefan,
Yes,
and he does a drinky drink. People are kidnapped. Like it's just kind of a shit show at this point that doesn't make a lot of sense.
yeah. Honestly, I think we all put too much faith in each other to have done the right thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like actually read
But
this.
honestly,
Usually that mentality works because usually at least one of us has done it.
yeah, usually at
Yeah.
least one. But like, here's the thing.
But we all effectively DNF'd. I feel like is what happened here.
Yeah,
we all
I think-
effectively
Here's what I
DNF'd
think happened. I
when the
think this
angel
book,
shit started happening.
I think this book went so off the rails that we all just went.
Well, when it
and
got to like
it was so fucking long. Like it was such a long
Yeah.
book and so much fucking horse shit, and we all just went no.
honestly, I think for me again, when we got to the 11-year-old tried to fuck her father,
Like honestly,
like I'm just like, what am I reading? I came here for Vampire Diaries, and I've got this.
yeah, like it got to
Um,
that point, and I
I-
think that's when we all went. I don't know. what
Mac
to do
gets
with it.
arrested at the end. Some shit with Caroline happens, and Damon wants to fuck Elena. End book. Like literally, that's really just kind of it. Like Elena
will
does some
say-
angel shit.
Yeah,
It makes me feel better that we all went. I
Fuck.
can't anymore at the exact same point.
This book just okay because at least like I know that the show Vampire Diaries delves into other things other than vampires. You know, there's witchy woo stuff, there's werewolf stuff, there's
But it's all pretty much established really early on.
Yeah. Well, even the stuff that just like pops up, like Silas, like no one expected a Silas
Yeah.
to appear, but it's still like when you're trying to explain, like you know how everything starts tying in. Like if you start saying something that happens in like one of the last episodes, and then you know how you have to explain back,
Yeah.
you know how we
Yeah.
got to this point, and then it gets
There is
really
no explaining back
complicated
with
and
it.
it's all fucked up and everything. But with this, it's just like, you know what we're gonna do? Get a whole bunch of shit. Okay, let's get some
Throw it
different
against a wall.
taboos, some different. Not even throwing it against the wall. Let's just chuck it all in a pot, mix it together, and see how the stew turns out. And how it turned out was really confusing.
Yeah, like I did. Matt gets arrested. Damon wants
if you're gonna,
Elena puss. That's all I can tell you.
I think this book would have been a lot better if you're gonna start
Caroline's
introducing
pregnant.
a whole bunch of stuff. That's right.
Caroline says she's pregnant.
That's right. Because
Is this how we got
half,
pregnant Caroline in the series?
I don't know.
I guess.
Oh well, no. Pregnant Caroline in the series is because the actress was pregnant,
Oh.
and they're
Yeah.
like, "Well, we can make
Either
Caroline
cut her.
disappear for a half the season.
Yeah.
We can just shoot her from specific angles to hide the belly, or we could write it in." And they're like, "Well, conveniently, we just killed a pregnant woman, so let's do a thing." Or maybe they already knew that she was pregnant when they shot the finale. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
And that's why Preggers did it dead. I don't know. But hers was because the actress was pregnant. But, you know, this one just ended up being a clusterfuck. And again, I feel like if all the other sexual shit was removed, then we probably could have finished it. But it was too much weird on top of weird on top of weird.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Fang head.
Oh yeah.
Fang
Thank
head.
Oh yeah, that's right.
When Elena was still a child, and for anyone recently tuning in, she was adult shaped, she was returned from the dead and infant-like in mind. And
Yes.
it was a weird situation. Stefan and Elena were making out, and then while they were kissing, Elena took because his fangs extended, because he wanted to do a bitey bite. Elena took a single fang into her mouth and just sat there, and his fang extended more and more until it pierced her lip, and neither of them were moving. She was just like there with her mouth around his fang. And his fang extended until it pierced her lip and bled into his mouth. And then it felt like he had an orgasm type thing, the way it was written. She gave his fang head, and then he had an orgasm, and then they cuddled.
This is why we DNF this book.
This is why we effectively all DNF'd.
I mean, like what do you do with this?
Like honestly,
also,
literally,
she's a published author.
Yeah, like I texted, like I literally texted them saying, so Elena gave head to Stefan's fang and he came from it. Like that's literally.
I remember
how that
waking
scene
up
reads.
to that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember waking up to that text.
Like,
and then you said, "It's well, you read the TLDR. That's explanation enough."
Yeah, like, what do you say to that? Because also, like, it's not described, because, like, vampire fangs in different, at least they usually, like, explain the fang dynamic in each series. They haven't in this one. Some of them, it's like, you know, just the canines are longer, like, so it's more like a wolf fang type thing. It's the same thickness as the other teeth, just longer. Others, they're like needle points. I don't know. And then there's varying lengths in different, some it's just, you know, slightly elongated. Others, it's like coming out the mouth. I don't know what vampire fangs are in this series. Yeah, I don't know what vampire fangs are in this series. If they're skinny, if they're thick, if they're proportioned, if they're
thick with two C's.
Long, short. But I'm just trying to picture putting, how does one suck on a fang?
That's all I got.
I guess if it just keeps, and only the one, if it keeps growing and growing, and then it's just
it was just one fang.
Like all the way down her throat, or like or something like.
But like, how does it? Because you'd have to, and then
he'd have to like move his jaw backward.
Yeah, he'd have to
like I imagine it wasn't like a full on like. I think it was just like a lip resting on either side, so she was like,
yeah.
The boys probably wouldn't want to do this on screen, so just like turn your camera off and see if you can work out a head
He's
position.
not going to consent to that.
Yeah, no.
Frank kiss.
He won't
Neither
consent
of
to
them
that
will
I would
either.
ask Stixie, but he's not here.
Would you consent to me trying to suck on your teeth? Because I don't.
No. A single canine. A single canine
A
tooth.
single canine, excuse me. He said you wouldn't be physically capable of doing that, so no. I
Like,
have
what,
another question.
would Stefan's mouth have to be like half open?
Do
and
you
then her
think
just,
that's
like,
something
position
that would feel
to it?
orgasmic to you?
Okay.
It's a thing that happened in this
Stefan.
book.
Like I can't
What is wrong with you?
like I can't even imagine how that would be like even an instinctual thing to do. Like even taking
No.
vampire into account.
I don't know, man. This book just went way too haywire from.
Like, and I'm
Any of us
really
can
scared
finish
as
it.
well because now that we've established that that's a thing that Stefan gets off on, are we gonna get more fang
It's gonna
sucking?
happen again. Hang on, I want to see how long the next one is. I want to see if this continues the trend. What's the next one
It does.
called? Are they
Wait, give
just
me-
as long? Swear to
I
fuck.
will. I've got the audio books. I'll tell you what the time is for each of them. So this one was far out.
I think this one was like 10 hours, something like that.
This one was 14 hours.
That's fucking long.
Yeah, so this one's 14 hours 4 minutes. The next
Mhm.
one
The next one is 137,000 words.
16 hours 29 minutes.
What?
Yep. And
Ow.
the last
Fuck this.
one
I dropped my
last
vape for
one
dramatic effect and it
is
hurt.
15 hours and 49 minutes.
No.
How many hours?
15 hours 49 minutes. So it's shorter than the next one, but longer than this one.
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck is gonna happen?
I don't know.
I just really hope that there's no more.
I just want to
Thanks,
say
okay.
this
I'm
for the
impressed.
record. I did not sign up for the haunted vagina 2 weeks in a row. I feel like we've all been thinking it this entire time, but I feel like one of us needs to say it out loud. We were like, we're not going to do Bizarro Fiction twice in a row, and we fucking did, and
I think we
mad
really
about it.
kinda
trolled. We got like we effectively got like
Fucking rickrolled. Like,
yes, we got rickrolled.
like we're not like, okay, we're going back to the Vampire Diaries, and maybe we'll do Bizarro Fiction sometime in the future.
We signed up for a what? Like this isn't a book. This was a half a book or a quarter book.
We signed up for another
that's what we
100
signed up
pager.
for. We signed up for another. What did we read? Where is the plot?
Yeah, that's what I was
Not-
expecting.
Not
and
there's
then
too much
and then
plot.
Addie's like, oh, by the way, it's 600 pages, and I was like, oh god, I'm gonna have to like do cocaine to stay awake through it.
Yeah, okay. And also, when we're saying the
No
page
one
length
did
as well,
cocaine
we're
to
not
get through this
talking
book.
novel pages. We're talking her text size ebook.
No.
page.
I'm talking actual physical pages. I looked up the physical page
pages.
count. It is
Oh.
600 pages.
And the first, I know
That's
the
about
first ones are
right.
short. I thought that would be longer than 100 pages. I thought the first ones would be.
They were 100 pages.
Oof.
Like just over 100 pages. I don't know. That's what the
Which actually seems short for physical, like, because
That's what I'm saying. That's why I thought it was. the
60K
ebook,
should
'cause
be
let me
more
double
like
check with a second source.
60K should be
Wait.
more like
I think they're in storage because I've got the physical books of the first series.
I have a reading length website that tells me.
60K. Well, it just depends on how they're formatted.
So the
honestly.
awakening
pretty-
and the
they're-
struggle are
Wait.
60,000 apiece.
Yeah. Wait. So
So
the
they're
first
around like 200
books,
pages actually.
I don't like because the second series and later on and everything were published as like the bigger size books. And that's when they released the first series in 2 books per book.
And those were
to
like
match the
400
size.
pages.
So
but the original series, like originally published, are like really small, like they're smaller than your average.
Yeah, like the mass market paperbacks.
yeah,
So this
they're
one
really
is-
small books.
this book is longer than 2 of the books from the first series combined. The one that we read.
And I can see how it is because like
It was exhausting.
I guess a lot of our complaints about the first series have been eliminated. There is plot. There
Too
is a
much.
relationship between Stefan and Elena now.
Unfortunately.
I guess.
However, those complaints have
want
been
this.
replaced with an all new barrel of complaints.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
That was
first-
Vampire
this
Diaries.
is like when you give someone instructions and they follow them, just not how you wanted them to follow them.
Yeah, like because the first
know?
book, literally the plot was girl meets boy, boy ignores girl, girl stalks boy, girl finds out boy is a vampire, boy and girl get together. That's the first book's plot. It's literally 5 sentences that are like 3 to 6 words long each.
This
This
is how I
one-
feel.
Yep.
This one feels like the plot points would take up about 50 pages, but I want to erase more than half of them.
Yeah. And the other thing is that this book also follows so many characters.
House of Night
Oh,
syndrome.
yeah.
This book has House of Night syndrome.
I wonder if they're friends.
Yeah, we get Elena. We have Elena, Stefan, Damon, Bonnie, Matt. I think it's just those 5.
But it's enough.
And-
I mean,
And
You
the
know,
difference as well.
at least
compared
House
to
of Night is not
it's
painfully
all-
long.
Well, also with House of Night, it gives you a little handy like chapter 5, Zoe.
Yeah,
It tells you
that
who
is
you're with.
handy.
Whereas this, you kind of just have to guess who you're with because it's also third person. So
Yeah.
it's like generally it's the first name mentioned in the paragraph. That's who you're with, but not always. Because sometimes we're in Matt's point of view, and it's like, when Elena looked at Matt, all he saw was, and then like we work it out from that. We have to
Yeah.
gauge based on the pronouns and names.
I mean, you don't always
that's
need.
it.
See, I've usually found that like whenever you get the chapter headings of like whose perspective you're in, it's typically for first person books.
Yeah.
Whereas like
House of
it's-
Night, only Zoe's POV is first person.
yeah, so it's more common for if it's third person where you're jumping around, like you don't have those headers.
No, I know. It's just it does make it a bit easier in terms of, especially in this one, we're jumping between so many different characters. Like, even though it's third person, we're still in, a specific perspective within the third person. It kind of takes you a minute though to work out who you're supposed to be with.
Yeah.
Like,
I
especially
think in
with
some
the way
series
that
that
this is
works,
written.
but like
Yeah.
I don't think in this series it works at all.
It really depends. Like, it wasn't as bad in the first series because we were either with
Yeah.
Stefan or we were with Elena, and
Or
then in
Bonnie.
the last book we were with Bonnie or with Damon or Stefan.
Or
And
Matt.
also like with some jumping around, a lot of times it'll be split up with like a squiggly or stars or chapter breaks or something. In this it
Yeah.
was just like next paragraph and you were like,
Yeah, like sometimes we're only with like we said before as well. Like when Bonnie and Meredith were at Caroline's house and Matt and Elena were at Tammy's house and stuff. We'd get 2 paragraphs with this side, then 2 paragraphs over here, then back to 2 paragraphs over
Which
here.
they should have
Sometimes-
stars. They should have little
sometimes
stars.
earlier on in the book as well, like when Stefan was getting Elena ready for her visitors and stuff, we would cut to Stefan and Elena for like about 3 sentences and then cut back to Damon and then cut back to Stefan and Elena, then cut back to Damon, like all within like about 2 pages.
yeah.
And yeah, it was a bit jarring. Like, it was a bit jarring to get used to at first. Like, I get that she's trying to show that these 2 things are happening simultaneously.
Well, and like we did
But-
we did something like that in Blackwoods, The Blades of Redwater. But what we did was we put like,
You put stars.
well,
I mean,
Oh, you
When
mean
we were
like the
typing
jumping
it
that's
out.
harder to tell.
when we were typing it out, it was stars, but like when it was formatted, it was like a filigree thing, so that when you're reading it, you're like, clearly this is a very obvious scene break. But also in the audiobook, there's a very distinct pause.
Yeah, whereas
when
here
there's
it was,
like little squiggles, yeah.
Because in
whereas,
like the script we gave him, we talked it over and we were like, we do a lot of jumping, and it needs to be clear that there's like a break,
a jump, yeah.
yeah. Whereas
and so like, we
in
talked
the
it
audiobook
out.
for this, there wasn't anything. I don't know about the
Yeah.
print, like the book copy, but
Mm.
the audiobook, there was nothing to
Signify that.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think is like, I don't know if it's because
I thought
with
the
like
audio was messed up for a minute. Like I thought the audio
there
was
was a
messed
lot
up
of
for the
parts
first
where
hour
like
and a
it
half.
repeats and stuff, and I
Yeah.
thought that it was like fucked up.
A couple of the repeats actually is the audio.
Yeah, but like
book it's fucked up.
it was
in a couple
confusing.
spots.
But that's like another thing that is odd about mass published or like publishing house or traditionally published stuff. Sorry, is like some of the books will do stuff like that just feels really sloppy, and I wonder if it's just because it's a big publishing house that has like shit to do, and so they don't have time to give a fuck.
Yeah.
About stuff like that.
Yeah, well, one thing I have heard from read from a lot of people is like those that want to be like more traditionally published but still want more input or control or just even a more personal experience, etc. That's why they go for smaller publishing houses that only like do say 2 or 3 books a year or something like that.
Yeah.
Because maybe not 2 or 3 books, but they only do a very small amount of books a year because and they've only got about 5 people working there, stuff like that, because they do work with the authors a lot more. They do put more time. The quality is often a lot higher for small name authors and stuff like that than than big publishing houses, small name authors, because big publishing houses put the most effort into the Dean Koontzes of the world, etc.
Right, because Patricia Briggs, Mark Lawrence, like the people that are selling ass loads of books, their books are amazing. They're nice. They look great. The audiobooks are great. But then you get into like House of Night and this, and you're like, how the fuck is this published? Like, how the fuck? And then you're also like, why didn't I go for traditional publishing? I could have gotten it in advance. But then also you're like, but then it would have looked like this, and I don't want that. And so it's just like, I don't know. Because I wouldn't want that for like our stuff.
No.
So I don't like. I get why self-publishing is such a thing, because I would not want this to be the thing.
Yeah, and you don't get an advance and stuff like that, but also in the long run, if your book is just as successful self-published as it is traditional publishing, you end up also financially better off. You do have to make a bigger financial down payment, I guess, initially, because you
have to make a financial down payment.
Yeah. Because you have to front all of the expenses, but you also don't have to pay. Oh, sorry, you also get though, obviously all of the royalties, not 10% of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Plus, also from the second you sell your first book, you start to get your money paid back. Whereas with traditional publishing, you get nothing until your advance is made up.
Yeah. And then like on top of that, like with our cover design business, like we do interior formatting, and like unless you are a Dean Koontz or like a Robert or a James Patterson, or something like that, like you don't get like nice interior formatting and shit like that.
Yeah. And
like I find that self-published books like that have a lot of effort put into them are a lot of times prettier than traditionally published books.
And a lot of stuff as well is like if you are on a tight budget and you're self-publishing, you can work out how to do the formatting and everything yourself. It may take you 20 times longer to get it to look half as nice, but then if you do it again, like if you keep tweaking it, yeah, you will get it looking nice without paying a cent to someone to do it for you, which some people, well, actually most people, granted, don't want to spend 60 hours just trying to work out how to use the software.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I get it. But if you are really on that tight a budget, you can still do it yourself. Most people don't. I get why. I probably wouldn't do it myself because, it's a pain in the ass, especially ebook formatting. EPUB
Ebook formatting is
freaking
not
big.
fun if you don't know what you're doing.
No,
It's easy once you know what to do.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
now
to
that-
work it out.
Now that I know how to do it, it's fine. But like figuring out how to do it, fuck me. But then
Yeah,
also, I have all the steps written down because if you don't do things in a very specific order, it fucks everything up.
Yeah. So, and that's where, even if you're self-publishing and you're on a tight budget, it is probably still better off. You're still probably better off getting someone else to do it for you, especially your EPUB formatting. But yeah, whereas you don't have to worry about any of that with traditional publishing, but it won't look as nice probably because they're just going to be like, okay, whack it through whatever, because they've probably got all of their presets done, so they just put it in the preset, done, their jury book. It's not pretty, but it's there.
Yeah.
And you also get to choose your cover design if you self-publish. A lot of traditionally published authors don't have a say in what their covers look like at all.
Yeah.
Unless it's a big hit book or you're a big time author or something like that.
And then typically if you do get a say, it's not until the cover redesign that you get to decide what your cover looks like.
Yeah. And sometimes you'll be lucky and your general vision for the cover is is something that they're okay with, or like I think Stephanie Meyer, like the apple and everything like that, I think that's what she wanted. I think that was her idea. And yeah, she wasn't a big time author when Twilight first got published, but it just worked out well that it worked well for the book.
Yes.
I
You
must
need to
leave.
go. Okay.
Yes, I need to go. Y'all can keep talking, but I have to leave.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh no.
Mars face died. Oh no.
Faye?
Oh no. Sorry, I had a phone call coming
You're
in.
back.
Yeah, I had a phone call coming in, so I'm probably going to have to go too.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
Let us end.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.